Hello. How's everyone's Wednesday doing? Going? Solid start to your weekend? Hell yeah. God, why is this song so fucking loud every time? Oh, thank you for the resub, Neb, and congratulations on running Twinkle Park Big. Sorry that it was covered by the chat again. I didn't fix that problem. But I easily could, if I wasn't shit. Oh no, I don't have bit notifications, this is sad. I still haven't gotten around to that. Make one up on the spot. Bibbity Boobities, thank you for the bits. Damn, I can't believe I'm getting scammed live on Twitch. I can't think. I need to load the game. This is so loud. Please load. I broke the game. I tried loading it and it fucking crashed. Oh no. Why? The scam train crashed. Winds of change. I can't believe it. Okay, but actually it fucking like broke. Thank you for the gifted subs. Thank you for the bits. I appreciate it. If you got a gifted sub, congrats, and congrats on rolling Twinkle Park Big or Emerald Coast Big. You just choose, honestly. Oh, Emerald Coast. Emerald Coast. Oh my god, stop. Is it bugged? Is it only gonna show Emerald Coast? Oh no. Oh no, okay, it's not broken, it's just rare. One Twinkle Park. Yeah, congrats X Poonslayer 69. Poonslayer X 69, sorry. I'm very excited for people that I haven't seen in here in a while to be like, what the fuck? It's okay, now I have good emotes, so you get stuff like ooh woo and big. Alright, maybe this time the game will actually load. Try to gift Handy, but Blue beat you to it. Outplayed, actually. Yeah, we're fucking gaming. What's poppin', dude? We're visual novel gaming, brother. Hope you enjoy the emotes. They're the only one allowed to give super handies out here. It's funny in the context of hand job. It's not funny in the case of it's short for handicap. Yeah, you really need the right frame. My friend got a super handy at Denny's. Got the Grand Slam. Yeah, thank you for the scam train. I never thought I'd hit a level 4 scam. I didn't think I was good enough to scam that hard. But now that everyone's here, welcome to Winds of Change. You won't enjoy them? then don't. I don't fucking give a shit. Imagine not enjoying, we do not have to get to level 5. It's not a requirement. No one, like, I'm not demanding it, please. I don't have things set up for this. It's making me look like a fool. I'm looking like an unprofessional streamer over here, dude. Oh, and then there's the bot. Let's fucking go, man. Holy shit, why are so many bots? I'm so popular! Any mods around? Any mods want fucking shooting privileges? There you go. Wow. Yeah, I want to go to dogehype.com. Bro, what the fuck is going on? My fucking my computer's gonna probably crash. Right when I started, it's like, alright, encoding overload, and I'm like, great. We're not even at the end of the game yet, man. Come on. Don't ask me. I don't know what's going on. The end of the game, the boat just crashed. Yeah. We all drowned at the end. Alright, thanks everyone for stopping by. Boot up my stream just to fucking cash out on everyone else. And then I just end stream. Wouldn't that be a fucking move? But no, legitimately, thank you everyone. I'm sorry I don't have more meaningful things to present in response other than words. Do a flip. Alright, check this one out. This is gonna be the world's slowest flip, but trust me, I'm doing it. Gravity be damned, I'm finishing it. Alright, there we go. I'm on X Games mode, true. Alright, check this one out though. I'll do a backflip real quick. Whew. Damn, he's good. You're the most meaningful response I need. Thanks, Handy. I appreciate it. Even though you hate all my emotes, I can let that transgression slide. How did I learn that? Years of practice. Yeah, super hater. But I mean, I even have it set up that if you join the Discord, great plug for anyone that's here. If you join the Discord, you can use my emotes on Discord as long as you have a sub. And that's really the selling point of the Discord. That's at least 6 cases of haterade in his apartment. Damn. Are we talking like 6 packs or like full 24 cubes? Only meant for Nox. You do hate Nox. That is true. I can't believe Handy is homophobic. This is so sad. I have to regain my composure. I was not mentally prepared for a scam train. I love how Nox has that clip on hand at all times. The permanent receipt keeper. Alright. Thanks once again. That clip is doctored. Yeah, definitely. Twitch clips are definitely doctorable. But yeah, thanks everyone again. I'm gonna get started reading so that we can hopefully finish this tonight. If we don't, oh well, more on Friday. Anyway. When we all get on the ship, it starts to sail within moments. It seems that Ulrich and Pro want to expedite our departure from Alarinthia. They continue to look at us with smiles on their faces. To themselves, they had succeeded. But in what exactly? Jesus, 19 gift subs and 1,438 bits. I don't deserve it. Hope you enjoy your level 5 hype train emotes. I know I'll love hype popcorn. That one actually is pretty cute. I do like that. But in what exactly? That's what I demand to know as I step forward. If I was in charge, I couldn't have them plotting behind my back. But it's like I'm not in charge. Being bullied by the words I've said in the past, which may or may not be true. Valid. Yeah, have you considered not saying those words? Maybe this is a growing moment. Everybody gathers around to listen as our ship gently rocks back and forth. Though relieved that there were no casualties, we needed to know what we got into. You can't, you hate Nox. Well, I mean, like, look, I'm not your dad. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. If you want to hate Nox, then deal with the repercussions. Don't go complaining that people are using your words against you. You wish I was your dad? No, you don't. I'm not responsible enough to be a father. He hates you because he can't have you. That might be true. Now go meet in the middle and kiss. I'll buy you both plane tickets. Everybody gathers around to listen as our ship gently rocks back and forth. Though relieved that there were no real casualties, we needed to know what we got into. If they wanted to leave so fast, was it so bad that we could never come back to Alarinthia? A lot of people aren't responsible enough to be fathers, and yet, yeah, at least I'm smart enough to acknowledge it and not get into the situation. Wow, it's not that bad, trust me, but it's definitely the biggest score of my life. I mean, swindle an entire nation? Amazing. He continues talking, his pride apparent. It all started after the attack on our HQ. Damek cheated death and we rose from the ashes. Then we were going to Alarinthia, where I knew we'd be fighting. So I thought, what if we could cheat death again, but to our advantage? There is so much room for error that we stepped in to even the odds. I knew that Ulrich would side with Vivian regardless, so I went to him. I didn't want to work with Pro at first. It seemed like a plan doomed to failure. Could we really cheat an entire nation right in front of their own eyes? Obviously it sounded impossible, but Pro's pretty insistent. He came with a solid plan. I'd fight with Vivian, he'd fight with Draku. If we were both on opposing teams, we could throw the battle in any direction, so that's what we did. We ensured victory for the side Pants chose. Whatever. It was easy enough to manipulate Draku. I mean, he thought he was the one manipulating us, but it was my plan all along to fight by his side. After that, all we needed was this. He holds up a dagger, the same one he used from the Colosseum, and a pack of McDonald's ketchup that he used to fake the blood. Those idiots couldn't be bothered to look any closer at the wounds, or carry out the dead body. Stabbing it through his hand, that's when the true nature of the weapon was revealed. Rather than piercing his hand, the blade sunk into the handle of the dagger. It was a fake. Whoa! No one could have seen that one coming. Along with some chaos and acting, they'd believe the battle was over. The chaos, of course, was the moment Pants used the blade. We pushed you towards using it so we could have our opportunity. What the fuck, McDonald's at the function? Who do you think brought the food? It's Alarinthia, not fucking Dogwater, Vale North, whatever. They got McDonald's there. The ball sponsored by McDonald's. Yeah, these balls. That's really all there is to it. None of you could know until it was already over. If information was leaked, everything would be for nothing. You're free to come back to Alarinthia, but we might stay behind. It was just in our best interest to get away before they figured things out. So yeah, a new alliance, minimal casualties, and a great story. I'd say this was an all-around success, wouldn't you? Yeah, I can't believe we really pulled it off. I think this might just be my masterpiece. They wait in silence for our response, but their faces are beaming with pride. It seemed like a simple enough plan, but it was definitely risky. The moment we set foot in the Coliseum, they were in real danger. Alright. Mr. Matlife, hope you win your softball game. Or whatever ball game. And don't get robbed by refs. Well, it shows off their resolve. They were willing to die for this. The VA Craigasm. That's what people are here for. They're not here for the game, probably. However, something feels off about this. It's all too perfect, too convenient. I'm not sure. Ulrich was willing to throw everything away. I mean, I sided with Vivian, but that wasn't a guarantee. Had I sided with Draku, he'd lose his chance to change Alarinthia. There had to be more to the story. There's something they're not telling us. I'd have to talk to them in private later on. Maybe they could confide in me. But as it stood, I didn't really buy their tale. Would they really risk their lives for a foreign alliance? My comrades seemed to think so, and they showered them with praise. That might be the coolest thing I've ever heard. I knew you were a swindler pro, but this is crazy. You're using your skill to shape Alessia's history. And Ulrich, I never knew you were so good at acting. You really had me sold there. I almost can't believe it. It felt like something was up, but to think it was this? Almost puts my strategizing to shame, I have to say. So what's the next step? Is it smooth sailing now? I'd imagine our chances of getting caught are pretty low. You should probably tell Vivian what really went down. I doubt he'd mind, and at least wouldn't find out another way. In the meantime, we have to have a word with our new prisoner. Right, I'll tell him while you do that then. But I think we've also earned some much-needed rest. Let's take the day off and meet back up here in the morning. That is, if it's okay with you, Pants. No one's allowed to rest. I nod and tell everybody that they're dismissed, to go do their jobs. Everybody runs off except for Ulrich and Pro. They approach me and they look anxious. Sovi's in the brig, right? I can't believe he surrendered, just like that. And I heard him say something about a mole. Let's go talk with him, Pants. You deserve some answers. Yeah, let Damek pamper Vivian for the time being. But before we head to the brig, look behind us, Pants. It's starting to look like an impressive army, isn't it? I do as instructed and notice that we're accompanied by at least a dozen ships. Whoa! A dozen! If that was the strength of our new Alarinthian army, then I was at a loss for words. That fleet, combined with our own and my blade, stood a real chance in Baltius. But I couldn't lull myself into a false sense of security. There is still so much to do. And right now, the next step was having a word with Sovi. Just what was he after? The fact that Ulrich and Pro volunteered to come along was also pretty peculiar. The pieces have started to fall into place, but there's still quite a few gaps. Maybe this information that Sovi promised would help me in some way. We all head down to the brig, and I'm hopeful that I could figure this all out. After all, I could leave no question unanswered before attacking Baltius, and resting in our brig was the one man who knew everything about our enemy. If we could use him for information, then that would be an incredible boon. As we enter the brig, one fact plays on repeat in my ever-running mind. With everything we just gained, we actually stand a chance at winning this war. Cool. We win the war. I can't believe it. The brig is dark and we can't see much at all. That is, until our eyes adjust and we immediately see Sovi Life Water on the shelf. He's broken free from his binds and is doing pull-ups from a ceiling beam. Grunting with exertion, he lets himself fall to the ground when he notices our entrance. After taking a few steps towards us, he's careful not to make any sudden movements. Pro makes sure the cell door is shut and locked so he can't escape from us. My, I wasn't expecting an entourage. Should I be flattered or concerned for my safety? An obvious attempt at humor, but none of us acknowledge this. Just like me in high school, baby. Relatable. Ulrich steps forward, demanding swift answers from our captive. Explain yourself, Sophie. I'm seconds away from throwing you overboard. Again with the hostility. Look, I don't even really know what I'm doing here. It just felt like the right thing to do given the circumstances. What circumstances? Sophie looks at me and shakes his head dismissively. Back when we attacked your HQ in Mazio, my goal was to kill your friend and retrieve the blade. I failed both objectives and the Triumvirate punished me. I see. It's true, Sophie did show me mercy during our brief encounter. He had my life in his hands, but he chose to run away instead. What a coward. He saw something when he touched the blade, I could tell. And now that I know the truth of the spirit realm, I think I knew what he saw. The monarchy, he must have seen the same truth that shocked all of us. I ask if that's true, almost certain that I'm correct. He then confirms. You are correct. I found out that the Triumvirate was lying to me. I let you live because I wasn't sure of what to do next. I'm still uncertain. When I got back to Balteus, they punished me by placing me in exile. You expect us to believe this? Sophie, you're nothing but a mindless slave. The monarch survived because of his strength. I tell Ulrich that Sophie is speaking the truth. I explain what happened while we were alone near the idol. See, Ulrich, you're always so paranoid. Listen to your friends before making snap judgments. I have a lot to say, so you better learn to trust me again. Don't count on it. He walks away and stands in a nearby corner, broodingly. Sensing an opportunity, Pro enters the conversation. Not broodingly. So, what did you want to tell us? Around here, you need to earn your keep. Ulrich was serious about throwing you overboard. Well, this is where it gets complicated. I still consider myself a servant to the Triumvirate, but Hallen, well, I want nothing more than to see him fall. Is Baphomet a furry? I'd say so. Isn't he a goat? I'm not here to hurt any of you, not this time. As you can see, even though I broke out of my binds, I'm playing nice. Right now, all I can offer is information to aid your attack on Balteus. And why would you want to help us take down the Triumvirate? Doing so would involve taking down Hallen as well. He sold me out and got me into this whole mess. Okay, and let's say we take down Hallen. What then? You'd be reinstated as Inquisitor and just stab us in the back. You speak as if people aren't capable of playing both sides. Either way, I don't know. I'd make my choice when the time comes. And what makes you say that so easily? You've served the Triumvirate for your entire life. No, not my entire life. They welcomed me with open arms when I was young and broken. Now here they are, inflicting the same wounds they had promised to heal. Is that supposed to make sense to me? No, Pro, because you have 2 brain cells. And they're already, on rest from making the most obvious, fake murder scene. No, because it barely makes sense to me. I also only have 2 brain cells, Pro. Now, Pro, will you let me say what I have to say? Sure. Sophie sighs and crosses his arms. If you want to take down the Triumvirate, you'll have to enter their chambers. I've never seen them leave, and I don't expect that they ever will. They really like being able to change their undies on demand. I always thought that they were hiding, but I don't think that's true. There's something at the back of their chambers, something off. It's like a spirit idol, but the very sight of it fills me with fear. I'm not sure what it is, but I have a few theories about it. I'm shocked he's actually telling the truth. I've seen this idol in my visions of the Triumvirate. Could it really be true? Is he doubting his masters? I think that maybe it's their source of power, but I'm probably wrong, as that seems to be the trend lately. Either way, its destruction should be your top priority. It lines up with what I was told in my visions, but I was unsure if those visions were tricks. In them, I was drawn towards his special idol. A spirit idol in their own chambers? But those are conduits for the monarchy. It makes no sense that they'd keep one close by. Their main goal was to destroy all of the idols. Nice try, but I'm not going to believe any of this. Let's go, Pants. We'll ditch him in Mazio. Pro and Ulrich start to leave, but I tell them to stop. I let them know that Sovi is telling the truth, as odd as it sounded. I saw the same idol in some visions I had of the Triumvir's chambers. Visions of the Triumvir's chambers? When were you going to tell us about this? Sovi scoffs, clearly amused at their reactions. I'm not finished yet. Our attention is directed back towards them. I suggest that your attack focuses on entering their chambers. There you can take down both of them and this dark idol. However, you would have to fight your way through Hallen. And that's where my next piece of information comes in. Hallen may seem just like you and I, but he's not. The Triumvirate created him with that blade. What? He was made to be the perfect soldier. He would always serve his masters no matter what. Little did I know that loyalty was stronger than our friendship. He promised not to tell them what happened, but the moment we got home he sold me out immediately. He lives under the Triumvirate's thrall, a true mindless slave. You must never let them get their hands on that blade again. They aren't limited to suits of armor. They've mastered it enough to create life. Of course, their first test was Hallen. They needed someone trustworthy enough to serve them. I think they did it to ensure that nobody else ran away. My previous master, the former Grand Inquisitor, defected. I trusted Hallen and the Triumvirate. They all betrayed me. But there's your information. I'm sure it will help you out, a possible weakness in the true nature of Hallen. With that blade, you could even give him freedom. It would release him from the spell that the Triumvirate has put on him. Is Sovi British or pretentious? Yes. Of course, that's not how I'd like things to play out. He smirks at me and I can sense what he's about to say. I would prefer it if you let me kill him, Pants. That's all I can ask for in return. I won't get in your way. If you grant me this, I would be further in your debt. We all look at each other, slightly confused. The Triumvirate created Hallen to be a perfect slave? I guess it makes sense, especially if they dealt with defection. But just what was that idol at the back of their chambers? And was destroying it really the best course of action? I guess we wouldn't find out until the very end of things. Great. I love making decisions on a whim at the end, when it's literally the last thing to do. So, do you trust me? We all nod reluctantly. These facts weren't revelations, but they helped. If I could free Hallen, he might end up being a valuable asset. However, the idol remained a true wild card in all of this. If I ever got the chance to talk to the Triumvirate, I'd ask them. But something tells me if we're face to face, it won't be civil. Alright, good luck getting to work, Nox. Drive safe, all that. And for all I know, it's just a trick. The idol could be a red herring. Good, because there's 2 more things to talk about. And now that I've earned your trust, you have no reason to doubt them. I saved them for last because, well, it involves dishonesty among your ranks. Must be about that mole he mentioned. I tell him to quit dancing around the subject and tell me. We had a lot of planning to do for our final attack and very little time. Well then, do you 2 want to tell him, or should I? Pro and Ulrich shuffle in silence, hitting the gritty, clearly in a state of unease. What was Sovi talking about? There's no way Ulrich and Pro were dishonest. There's no way, clueless. They had served Damek and Silas for decades. They were easily the most trustworthy. I guess it's time. I'll go first. Ulrich steps forward, taking a deep breath. Sovi watches with a signature smirk. My allegiance is with the rebellion, I could promise you that, but that wasn't always the case. It's all in the past, ages ago. Sovi's trying to harm our trust with ancient information, Pants. I knew this was going to happen. He'd earn your trust with a couple of interesting facts, then attack. This is subterfuge. My past has no bearing on my current loyalty. But I knew the secret would come out sooner or later. That's the real reason I sided with Pro to cheat the Colosseum. You know my loyalty was with you, no matter what. Especially the part where I bashed your face in with my sword and didn't tell you. That much is true. He had no guarantee that I'd side with Vivian. He didn't have to, in the end, but he was willing to abandon his dreams. That was proof enough of his loyalty, but I was still a bit concerned, considering he beat me half to death with the pommel of his sword. Delaying as always. He's scared of you, Pants. He knows you might throw him away. No, I wouldn't throw Ulrich away. No, Pants would never do that. Not after what I did for our cause in Alarinthia. So go ahead, Sophie. Watch your plan crumble and fall. I notice a weight lift itself from my back. The blade disappears from my scabbard. Sophie is doing it again. However, much to my surprise, that's not what happens next. Ulrich sighs in both relief and fright as the blade appears in his hands. I take a few steps back, shocked. How in the world is this possible? Grand Inquisitor Ulrich. That was lifetimes ago. Ancient history. He's using a dead past to try and hurt us, Pants. Ulrich was a Grand Inquisitor? No way! They must be the defector that Sophie mentioned. As you can see, I'm very good at math and logical reasoning, like 2 plus 2 equals 3. The pieces of all of this are starting to fall into place. It's a 4-piece jigsaw puzzle. Very hard. I need it to be explicitly told me which pieces go into which. I realized that the Triumvirate was my true enemy. That's why I decided to join the rebellion. You really thought this would work, Sophie? I never said I was intending to hurt you. This is merely information that might help you in Baltius. Ulrich has inside knowledge, Pants. He can wield the blade. It's your choice if you let this information hurt you, but in your situation, I would be relieved to know. Now, there's no need to keep any more secrets. I'm so confused right now. Was Sophie helping us or trying to hurt us? I can see how he might think that Ulrich's past would harm our trust, but I can also see how sharing this information would help us out. Furthermore, the way Ulrich handled this situation was extremely professional. Under any other circumstances, I might have taken this information badly. But he's right. It's in the past. He's gone on to prove his loyalty to me. The happenings in Alarinthia finally make full sense to me. He was securing my trust for when the secret came to light. Genius, really. I'd have to deal with him more later on, though. This conversation had potential to explode, and I'm glad that it didn't. I know Ulrich's real plan, but Pro remains a wild card. What was he after? I turned to face him, and he takes that as a signal that it's his turn to talk. Ulrich passes the blade back to me, and I place it in its scabbard. Pro looks worried. Perhaps the secret was worse than Ulrich's? Go on. Tell Pant, Pro. It's time for him to know, don't you think? He gulps before speaking. Gulp. So I guess I'll start from the beginning. My parents abandoned me. They didn't die in the occupation like I tell everybody. I've always wanted to know one thing. Why? None of my searches gave me any useful information, so over time I grew more and more desperate. One day the Triumvirate reached out to me. He looks down, ashamed. They said they knew the truth about my parents, but in exchange they wanted me to give them information. Details about the rebellion. It seemed like a harmless exchange. Pro was the mole. No way! I can't believe it! But over time they started to ask more and more. I gave them so many secrets, but got nothing in return. It wasn't much longer before I quit. I had enough of their lies. But the damage was already done, wasn't it? Yeah. So what was the last thing you leaked to them, Pro? Let me guess. It was the tunnels and their HQ that was through the fucking tunnels, right? That whole massacre happened because of Pro. The location of our new HQ, the tunnels. It was a good hideout, right under their noses. They'd never find it unless somebody told them. I'm shocked to my core. As evidenced by the fact that I'm clearly shocked in real life as well. If Pro leaked our location, then that means... You're almost there, champ. That's right. Pro is responsible. His leak enabled us to attack you in Mazio. All those lives, the blood is on his hands. No, like I said, I quit. They lied to me. They knew nothing about my parents. All they wanted was somebody gullible enough to serve them. It doesn't change what happened, Pro. Now, Monarch, how do you take this? Hey, I proved my loyalty, just like Ulrich. I put my life on the line to serve the rebellion. There was no guarantee we'd survive the Colosseum. That much was true. I knew everything was too good to be true. The real reasons they did what they did were all self-serving. It was so they could defend themselves as they were exposed. With an ulterior motive like that, were they really trustworthy? Ulrich's past was easy to forgive, but what Pro did to all of us? I have no idea how to react. Sophie was fighting a war in my mind. Look, I made up for what I did. All those lives we lost, we got them back, and more. Our Alarinthian allies will help us win this war, hands down. I nod, acknowledging his point, but I need more time to think about this. If they had secrets, did my other comrades too? I'm starting to doubt the loyalty of everybody around me, because I literally can't be bothered to think about things past what this fucking weird dude is telling me, that literally popped up out of nowhere and stole my sword a few times, but now everything he says is like, I fucking hate this. I need to stop. That's probably what Sophie wants me to do. No shit, Sherlock. I need to ensure everyone's loyalty before we leave to Baltius. Ulrich was the previous Grand Inquisitor. Pro was a mole responsible for the attack in Mazio. How was I supposed to deal with this right before the final battle? I asked Ulrich and Pro to leave me alone with Sovi. We'd get some rest and meet on the deck in the morning. One big gathering before we arrived in Mazio would help. I can see the worry on their faces. I tell them I'm not throwing them away. As they leave, the worry is still there, however. Their secrets were finally out. I don't know if anybody else knew, but I guess I was enough. I'm in charge. Charles in charge. I turn back to Sovi, who crosses his arms. So much dishonesty in the air, wouldn't you agree? I want you to look at your comrades and then look at me. Back to them and back to me. Yeah, I think that was Blue that gave you that sub. Hope you enjoy the emotes. How you doing, Benja? Welcome. No worries, I'm just getting home. I wasn't expecting to be bombarded with gift subs either. I'm doing alright. I'm just reading now. It's a good thing, yeah. Basically, like, I'm not gonna complain about it for sure. I'm just caught off guard. Is this a furry game? It is. The lore behind it is, in 2017-ish, I told my mod, MattLife, that if he bought Major Minor from me, I'd stream it. He did. 2 years later, I actually did stream it because Nutty was putting pressure on me to do it, so I finally did it. And that was like the first real thing I streamed like through, I think. And then fast forward to like last month, like a few months ago, I was like, someone brought up Winds of Change, and I'm like, if someone buys it for me, I'll stream it. And then Rage Houdini bought it, and now I'm streaming it. So that's how that goes. Writing checks to my ass, then has to cash. Unlike them, I've been nothing but honest with you. I would rather have an honest enemy than a cheating friend. That's part of why I wanted to talk with you, Pants. I know that we can be open with one another. This gonna be on the test? Nah. The exam will be exclusively which one you think is hottest and why, and I will grade you based on your judgment. I shake my head, unsure of how to respond. I tell them I need some rest, some time alone. So much was happening all at once, I needed a break. Very well, we're meeting on the deck come morning then. I'll make sure to be on my best behavior. I respect you, Monarch. I've always told myself that I'd serve rightful rulers of this world. It just seems like I was also lied to by the Triumvirate. Just like Ulrich, just like Pro, we're victims here, all of us. I may have realized it late, but was it too late? I guess we'll see. His attitude seems to have changed now that we're alone. For the first time I can sympathize with him. He is hurt and lost. Yeah, definitely sympathizable, definitely believable. Just like all of us, we're just trying to do what we believe is right. I tell him that he's free to join us at the meeting in the morning, but everybody will be told who he is. It'll be up to them to decide how they take it. If the majority of my comrades want him gone, then we'll have to part ways in Mazio. Very well, it's only fair. Have a good rest, Monarch. He bows to me as I turn to leave the cell. I make sure it's locked tight. He'd be let out in the morning. For now, I need to be alone with my thoughts. I needed to process everything. He's definitely going to break out. I make my way back to my bed and quickly collapse onto it. The weight of recent events weighs me down like a ton of bricks. At the end of the day, I didn't know who I could really trust. It's awful. Ulrich and Pro, two of our most trusted comrades, had dark secrets. When in the fucking world was Pro trusted? Dude has literally just been seedy and weird the entire game, and it's like, I trusted him. More than Valessa, who was your scribe, more than Fortame, who's literally your best friend and scribe, more than fucking Howl, who's literally just the embodiment of spirits and literally has no reason to lie, more than Damek, who got stabbed to death for you and led the rebellion that you're now a part of and completely co-opting. Pro's most trusted? Bro, come on. Makes me wonder just what everyone else was hiding, even Valessa and Fortame. When we got back to Mazio, I'd need to ensure their loyalty before we attacked Baltius. We couldn't embark on the biggest part of our journey with unresolved issues. Everybody needed to be in tip-top shape, not held down by anything at all. As big as Ulrich and Pro's secrets were, it's information we didn't have before. Information we could use against our enemy and against Baltius. We were too close to our goal to fall apart due to internal politics. I drift off to sleep and make my way to the deck in the morning. It was time for everybody to know about Sophie. Then we'd have a final discussion about what comes next. We were ready to launch our attack, but what should we do? Everybody's standing there as if they were waiting for me to arrive. They all exchange glances with Sophie, and unease fills the air. I don't blame them for being reserved right now, not at all. They all turn to face me, so that's when I hand the floor to Sophie. If he wanted to help us out, he had to win over my entire crew. The choice was with me, but all their input was important. All of us gathered around in a sort of circle. This means he can easily address all of us. And I'm curious what he has to say. A lot is on the line. My name is Sophie. I am, or was, the Grand Inquisitor. I no longer serve the Triumvirate. I was betrayed by my apprentice. He sold me out, forcing my masters to place me in exile. They threw me away. Everything they ever told me was a lie. I thought they were Alestia's rightful rulers, but then I figured out that this wasn't true. The heir to the throne is Pants. I'm a victim of their tyranny, just as you are. All of you. I hope you understand. I'm still at a loss. I don't really know what to do with myself, but coming here to meet with you and Pants seemed like a good idea. Last night I also revealed some information that could help your upcoming attack. I just need to know that I belong somewhere. Attacking the Triumvirate will involve taking down Hallen. We share a common purpose, and at least until he's taken care of. After that, I really don't know. I've always pledged my loyalty to the rightful ruler of Alestia. Logic would dictate that I now serve the monarch, but I don't know. The Triumvirate can throw people away at the snap of a finger, but I'm not like that. What they did was hurt me almost beyond repair. I will help you attack Baltius and take down Hallen. You have my word. But after that, I don't know what will happen. In that sense, I am both an asset and a liability. If you want me to leave, then that's what I'll do. When we get to Mazdeo, you'll never see me again. That is, unless you want my help. I can offer valuable intel. It's a gamble for both you and me. I don't fully trust you either. But hopefully I've earned a sliver of trust with Pants. If he vouches for me, then hopefully you will as well. That is all. My fate is in your hands. I have nothing more to say. He crossed his arms, waiting for our reply. My comrades were all shocked and confused, save for Pro and Ulrich. I asked them to step forward one by one and offer their thoughts on this. For once, I have a grasp on an entire situation. No, you don't. This is how things should be. Like Sophie said, I was the rightful ruler. I couldn't have people being dishonest and plotting behind my back. I honestly didn't expect this, but nothing has been normal lately. I'm willing to give Sophie a chance. I did the same thing with Grizz. His defection marked a turning point for our cause, a big one. If he can help us out, then I think we need to accept it. And if he turns against us, then he is easily outnumbered. The potential benefits outweigh the potential risks. This is clearly a trap here. We request that he deny his assistance. He's alone now, but he won't be when we arrive in Baltius. If we give him information, he'll turn on us once he gets there. Surely we aren't the only one who think this way. Who thinks this way? I don't know why that sentence didn't register correctly in my head. Anyway. An alliance with our enemy is mere days before our attack. It's too convenient. Sophie is playing us for a fool, yeah. I'm with Hal on this one. We can't work with the enemy. This is the man that killed you and burned down Valinor in your vision. I know it was a trick, but the man is the same. He is a trained killer. For that reason, I can't accept his offer. Fortame, you're with me, right? I don't know, Valessa. I think everybody deserves a second chance. We all had that moment when we turned against the Triumvirate. Why is it so hard to believe that Sophie might have had that moment? He worked so closely with them. He's seen their true nature. He has more knowledge on them than anybody else in our army. It makes sense that he'd come to the same realization as us. I mean, sure, it took a while longer, but that's because he served them. When you remove the excuse of loyalty, it can become pretty clear. That's why he didn't fully realize things until they put him in exile. Yeah, I'm with Fortame. Everybody deserves a second chance, just like me, person who got us into this mess in the first place. We've all been there before. We've all made a wrong decision or two. And there's no better way to make up for it than doing the right thing. Sophie isn't concerned with doing the right thing. He's a liar, plain and simple. There's no way we can trust him. He'd turn on us the moment we arrive in Baltius. That's a guarantee. Letting him close to us now would only enable him to gather information. If he knows our strategy, he can counter it. He can counter it with the Inquisition when we arrive. He can counter it with the Inquisition when we arrive. It's a death sentence, Pants. Don't be foolish. We've come too far to risk this. Seems like my comrades are divided, but with good reason. I was hoping for something more unanimous in any given direction. It is clear now that the pressure and final decision rested on my shoulders. This is a save moment. So Sophie can kind of eat shit as far as I'm concerned. So I'm feeling a strong no, because I trust Ulrich more than I trust Sophie. And plus, if Sophie's whole thing is the ability, like, he can steal my sword at any moment. And he wants to kill Hallen, sure, but, like, I feel like it just puts us in a situation where Sophie is going to literally just steal my sword and backstab me, or like steal my sword and then kill Ulrich or something, because he's literally just been fucking backstabbing everyone the whole time. So eat shit forever, Sophie. Bye. There was no way that could take such a risk. If he turned against us, he would destroy our entire cause. It was too risky. If his exile was even real, he'd be stuck with it. Very well. He takes a few steps back and rests against the edge of the boat. A few minutes later, after everything is said and done, we arrive in Mazio. The docking process is short since our prior allies are masters of the art. Damek steps forward, filling in the silence that overtook our ranks. Well, this is it. We're ready to attack Baltius. Everything we've ever wanted is finally within our grasp. The voyage will take a day or two so we can plan on the way. For now, we need to ensure that we leave no stone unturned. Visit with your loved ones, say your goodbyes, because this is it. Once we leave for Baltius, our fates are as good as sealed. His words are true, but fill the air with tension. The dawn of our final battle was here, and we needed to prepare. But planning the attack was easy. Our true task was accepting our possible death. This means saying goodbye and spending a final day or two with our friends. I should use this opportunity to make sure everybody is prepared for the final battle. As a leader, it is my job to ensure that we are all up to the task, no matter what. I don't think there's anything left to say. Finish up your business and we'll set sail when Pants demands it. Act under the assumption that you only have 1 or 2 days before departure. I don't want to rush anything as important as a goodbye, but every moment we waste is a moment for our enemy to prepare. I trust that we'll find a happy medium and embark without regret. Everybody nods, agreeing with his words. I can't believe that the time was finally here. Until now, it seemed like a dream, out of reach. It's right in front of me. This is it. Our journey was in its final hours. I tense up with worry. I misread that first as I tense up with horny. And that would have been wild. We make our way off the boat, embracing what little time we had left. Loyalty scenes are now available for the 6 main party members. Hal has a 4th heart-to-heart that is hidden in one of the previous areas. Loyalty scenes can be accessed by clicking the character icons on the war table. Fast travel has now been unlocked, allowing easy navigation through Alestia. A new blue icon has appeared in the top left of areas. Click it to move to the world map. The world map allows for easy navigation between every other map in the game. The world map is how you will launch your final attack on Baltius. Clicking the Baltius map icon will give you the choice of entering Act 5. However, it's best to do this only once you're satisfied with the content you've done. Radicool. Alright, so let's go find... Oh, those buttons are still there. Save. Let's go find that hidden, Alright. Goddamn, fuck it up. Go find the, heart-to-heart. Fucking Hidden Hal DLC. Bullshit, dude. It's not in Alarinthia. Rebel HQ, maybe. Maybe in the tunnels. Nope. Thankfully, there's not that many areas in the game, so I can just be wrong. I also like that gives you the option of just doing all the other heart-to-hearts, like now. So I could just full-ass skip them if I wanted to. Valinor, surrounding region. Here. Nope. Soliburg. Nope. Peregrino. Nope. Outlook. Nope. Maybe it's an East Crown? There it is. Damn, he's good. Alright, I'll be right back before we get started on that. BRB. Alright. We're back at it. Let's get some Howl Heart to Heart 4. I look off in the distance, already shivering at the extreme cold. I wanted to visit home one time before the end, and that included Eastcrown. We never got to find out what was there. I start to wonder if we ever will. Not that it's even important. It has nothing to do with our goal or our cause. It's just a mystery, one of many left unsolved. Howl approaches me from behind and looks into Eastcrown. He seems perplexed, like not even he really knows what's going on over there. It makes sense. I doubt the old monarchy had the ability to survive the cold. We know this place. He holds out his hand, feeling the harsh winds. The fatal cold, death within an hour. No chance of survival, not like Alarinthia's deserts. We let criminals handle their own end, a mercy. Because of this, it became a very mysterious place. We started to wonder what was out there, if anything. However, until now we had no way of finding out. Until now? This cold, we feel nothing. It wouldn't harm us to venture forward. Perhaps now is the time to solve this mystery. How fitting that we would be the first, a monument to death, an execution ground, monarch. We would like to take a brief break. How does he know that for sure that he can survive? He may not feel anything, but the body could still freeze. Unlikely. We would be shielded by our spirits. They may die one by one, but we would endure. At the end of it, we would remain largely unchanged. Besides, we are not asking for permission. Do you not share the same curiosity as us? Yeah, go find out. We thought so too, something about great minds. Perhaps there will be nothing, or perhaps not. It is something we will never know until we try. Yeah. He takes a few steps forward and looks down at the ground. Already we can feel our power dwindling. The spirits inside come forth to keep us warm. We will hurry and return with minimal damage. He starts walking away, powered by his curiosity. I guess he couldn't resist solving a mystery of the world. I don't blame him. He was also uniquely qualified to do so. Just like how I'm heir to the throne, I'm the only one. I guess he's just embracing his calling, much like I did. But Eastcrown, would there even be anything in there? I believe there's something important. There must be something important inside Eastcrown. It was too mysterious. There had to be something there. And now we'd finally find that out. It was rather exciting. I hold those thoughts in my mind until Hal returns. He shows no signs of wear and walks as strong as ever. It's hard to get a read on his face. There's no emotion on display. We do not understand. For a while there was nothing, but then we saw something interesting. I asked him to elaborate, my curiosity taking control. Eastcrown is ice. There's no water anywhere. It doesn't make any sense. We saw a ship crashed, broken, frozen among the ice. A ship sailing in ice. This is backwards. But we think that perhaps this is okay. Backwards, just like our thoughts. Now he's lost me. The future, or perhaps the past. This new outlook changes almost everything. Do not worry, Pants. We are not harmed in no way, or we are harmed in no way. As we said, the spirits inside kept us warm, yeah. The self-sacrifice that helped us brave the cold, a noble end. We are lesser now, but only slightly, and it is an interesting feeling. What we saw in Eastcrown is of no real importance. However, it has conjured up a spark in our minds, a spark that we must discuss promptly in Mazio. There are some final matters to take care of before the end. Thank you for coming here, Pants. If anything, it benefits us. I'm sorry if this wasn't what you expected, but that's not always a bad thing. Yeah. And not as long as he found some sort of benefit in his little trip. Before our final battle, everybody needed to be committed to the cause. One error, one slip-up could cost us all of our lives. We had to be resolute. But I wonder what he could want to talk about so suddenly. The future, thinking backwards, something was definitely bothering him. I'd have to do my duty as this leader to quell any worry before we launch our attack. Hal's loyalty season is not available from the blah blah blah. Yeah, I know. Let me do the Running Man. We're going to Mizzou. Rebel HQ. War Table. As you can see, fuck Pro. Alright, I'll just do them in order. I have not earned Fortame's loyalty. Okay. Fortame takes me back to Valinor, and we look at the Grand Tree. It made sense that he'd want to accomplish his lifelong dream before the final battle. With those metallic claws he'd found in Mazio, I think he could finally achieve what he wanted. And of course, he wanted me to achieve it with him. I'm grateful that he chose me, but I'm also a little worried. Is this really something I could pull off, even with those tools? Well, I guess this is it. I can't leave for Baltius with any regrets, so I'm finally going to do it. I'll climb the Grand Tree. And with someone like you, no less. They think they'll talk about this in the history books? I mean, I don't think anybody else has done this before. We're going to be the first. Here, you need to put these on like gloves. There's another pair that goes on your feet as well. After that, we just climb. We don't need to find footholds. Being able to create them ourselves? Now that's a good invention. I gotta give credit where credit is due. Mazians know what they're doing. Don't tell anybody though. These might very well be under trade ban. He gives me a quick wink. It's alright though, I won't tell anybody. It was way taller than I remember. I tried to give you some advice, but I don't have any. With those tools, it should be pretty easy. At least I hope. Just don't fall, Pants. We've all said that. I don't know if you could survive something like that. I've fallen from way shorter trees and been in pain for months. He sure is great at instilling confidence. Well then, got everything ready? Let's find a good starting point and do this. And don't forget that there's a kiss on the line, so let's consider this a race. Are you ready? He enters the stance that implies he's ready to begin. I nod to let him know that I'm ready and assume the same stance. We make our way to the base of the Grand Tree and look up. This is the first time I realize how tall it actually is. Would we really be able to make it to the top? A doubt wells up within me, but I don't voice it. I bet I'll be the first one there. With that said, he digs his claws in the tree and starts to climb. I watch him for a few moments before replicating his actions to a T. After a few minutes of doing this, we're extremely far from the surface. Scared of heights? Make sure not to look down. I, for one, love the view. This is part of why I do it. Hey, no fair. I was taking a breather. Didn't think you'd be the type to play dirty. He laughs as we scale the tree at almost the same rate. I can't imagine doing this without those claw-like tools. In fact, they make this pretty easy. There's no risk of falling. It allows me to take a step back and admire Fortame's skill. He has climbing trees for his entire life without this kind of aid. I suddenly appreciate its every stumble and fall, its every bruise. As we get higher and higher, we start to get enveloped in a canopy of leaves. We aren't quite high enough that they become red, but it's still an impressive sight. It blocks us from seeing the village below us, but it's beautiful to look at regardless. It helps us solidify just where we are. We're scaling the Grand Tree. I forgot. Nobody has done this before, and it's been his dream for decades now. However, due to his challenge, the competitive spirit starts appearing within me. At the rate we're going, I could very well beat him to the top. In fact, if it was a race, that would pretty much be the point. But this was still his dream, and he might deserve the moment. Let him win. I decided to intentionally throw my progress. Fortame deserves a win. I feel like it's only fair. As we get higher, we reach the blood leaves on high. When we reach the final stretch, I fake a small stumble. Nothing to put myself in danger, just enough to cause a slight delay. After Fortame had gotten far enough up, I get myself back on track. It's not much longer before we reach the top, but he's clearly victorious. He laughs as he sits on a massive branch, big enough to support both of our weight. I follow him up there and sit beside him, taking a huge sigh of relief. We did it. Now we just have to go back down. I can't believe we did it, Pants. And of course I had a feeling that I'd win. Never think you can rise above the master. He smiles and inches a bit closer towards me as we sit on the branch. Look at that view. I know we can't see the village, but these leaves? I never thought I'd get to see them up close like this before. I've only ever seen them when they wilt and fall off, but being up here and seeing them fresh? Wow. I wish I could take some with me, but I know I can't. He runs his hand through some of the blood leaves, clearly in awe. You know, this doesn't feel like I thought it would. I thought it'd feel amazing, like I'd become a different person, but I feel like just like I did before. I guess that's how things go, huh? Oh well, at least that's one more thing I can cross off my list. A bit anticlimactic, but I don't really know what I was expecting. Maybe it's like Eastcrown, just the allure of the unreachable. He inches a bit closer to me and rests his head on my shoulder. I can't see his face, but I can just tell he's wearing the widest smile. You know, this is a bit different than that back alley in Mazio. I'm glad that we have more privacy and that we could do this together. When we first left Valinor, I had no idea we'd become this close to each other. Not that it's an unwelcome change, trust me, I always thought about this, but back then a scribe in trade dating someone like you was frowned upon. Look how much has changed, the entire world is nothing like we thought it was. You know, I used to come to this tree and listen to this for the spirits. I thought that if I listened closely they might talk to me, you know? But they didn't, and now I know what that silence truly meant. All of us were held back by the triumvirate, but now that we're strong and unified in purpose. I know that together there's nothing we can't do. And it's all the more special because I have you by my side. You're the man that I love, and there's nothing that can change that. I'm following you to the ends of the world, to the highest reaches of the skies. And I'll have your hand the entire time. He slowly reaches down to my hand and intertwines his fingers with mine. That's fucking lewd. Then he brings up my hand up to his face and gives the top a soft kiss. I wish this moment could last forever, but that would be selfish of me. We have stuff to do. Thankfully, we'll always have this memory. It's perfect. Looks around the area one last time, admiring a view he may never see again. Well, should we get back down to the surface? I don't want to waste much time up here. We're busy and all that. It means a lot to me that we could share this moment. I'll never forget it. With that, he starts to climb back down. I follow after him and make our way to the surface. It feels weird to be down here after being so high up. So, what's next on the agenda? You know what? Never mind. You do you. I'll be around if you need me for any reason at all. He walks away with a big smile on his face. You have earned Fortane's loyalty. I guess a dream of his came true on that day. When we got to Baltius, he'd have no regrets. Damn. One kiss on the hand. How fucking lewd. I can't believe it, man. Ew. Keep it in your pants, will ya? I stand alone in my room, swinging the blade from side to side. Everything feels different than it did back at the start of my journey. When I first touched the blade, I could barely even hold on to it. But now I'm starting to master it. I'm able to make it my own. However, just as I think that, the blade disappears from my hand. Ulrich laughs and I turn around. I didn't even notice him come in. Sorry, it's just an old prank I used to pull on Sophie. I take the blade from when he least expected it. I guess it has a time and place. Sorry if I startled you. He swings the blade a few times before handing it back to me. I shake my head. He didn't startle me. It was actually kind of funny. I came here because I assumed you wanted answers. Learning I was the Grand Inquisitor must have been a shock. I'm glad you have a clear head. You could tell that I've changed. I nod. But you deserve to know what I was like before I changed. In order to hide from my past, I haven't exactly been honest. But I wasn't lying to you. It was more like I was lying to myself. Yo, what up, Hobbs? Welcome. Hope you're doing well. In a way, it just sort of made sense. I just decided to let him talk. He approaches me and sits down on the bed. I sit beside him. There's a man named Ulrich in Alrinthian legend. He pledged to change the nation, just like I always have. The barbaric way of running things was too much for him to bear. A lot of the specific details have been lost to time, but it goes like this. He was young, and his parents wanted the same thing, so they fought for it. They died in the arena, and Ulrich couldn't handle it. He ran away from the nation. But he pledged to return one day and change Alrinthia for good. The ideals passed on to him by his parents still live on to this day. That's likely what inspired Vivian to launch his own insurrection. Of course, the story that's handed down is never really the truth. To put it bluntly, I'm the same Ulrich. Oh, wow, shocking. It's been so long it's hard to believe. I'm sure you had your suspicions, so I just came here to confirm them for you. It's actually a bit hard to believe, but I let him continue. My parents hated the way the nation was run. They passed that hatred down onto me as I grew up, but they got older. Before too long they were decrepit. They could never change anything. So the burden was passed on to me, a rising star in the Colosseum. I never fought for the leadership, just regular tournaments, but I never lost. One day, I guess the Triumvirate knows how strong I was. They approached me. They told me that if I left Alrinthia behind, they'd train me. They'd give me power to return one day and change everything. I was young and naive, but I agreed without hesitation. I wanted to serve our gods. But before they accepted me, I had to prove that I was truly ready. Serving them would involve leaving everything behind. It'd be a fresh start. They devised a test for me to make sure I was truly ready to devote myself. He gulps. Gulp. Oh, he's afraid to tell me what happens next. They made me kill my parents. Bro. Jesus. He looks down at the floor. In their eyes, it told them that I was truly ready to leave my old life behind. As I was young and stupid, it made a twisted kind of sense in my head. I did what they told me to. I did what they told me to, but as I died, I told them I was making their dream a reality. I was caught and exiled into the desert. That's how I became a Sixer. I survived the trials, was branded with this tattooed, and showed them my worth. Their test was over. They took me over to Baltius and made me their servant. I served them by weeding out insurrections and ensuring they remained in power. After what seemed like an eternity, they came up with the idea of giving me an apprentice. That's when I met Sophie. They preyed on his weakness and naivety much like they did mine. We worked together, traveling the world and killing the Triumvirate's enemies. Eventually I realized that they weren't good people. I defected and joined the rebellion. If the timeline seems confusing, it's because it is. We're talking about millennia here. He lived for millennia? They gave us the gift of immortality. Well, they called it a gift. We would never succumb to old age, and mortal wounds would easily fade. I felt unstoppable, like I was the king of the world. Nothing could get in my way. He shrugged, clearly embarrassed at admitting such a fact. But after a while, I realized it was a curse. It's crazy how much your perspective can shift so fast. Taking the dream of immortality into real life, it became a nightmare. With a slight scoff, he stands up and turns around to face me. They knew what they were doing. They were creating slaves. Using that blade, they gave us what they deemed eternal life. I know we can use the blade too, but we can't reverse it. That should have been the first sign. I thought we did this willingly, but we really had no choice. It was all or nothing, an ultimatum, the biggest red flag. I've had this curse for far too long. It's made me a bad person. I no longer seek love because everybody I loved is just lost to time. I no longer seek happiness because it's never permanent. Never. These fleeting emotions may mean a lot to you, but not me. It's an endless cycle of building myself up, only to be cut back down. I thought I'd be like this until the world rotted away, until I met you, that is. He reaches out and holds my hands, squeezing them softly. Someone who can use the blade, someone who can lift the curse, and after all we've been through, even someone I can grow old with. Please use that blade and give me my life back. I don't want to belong to them. I think I want to belong to you. I could remove the curse the Triumvirate put on him? That would be good, but then he'd be weak and vulnerable. No doubt the source of his strength is partly due to his immortality. If I remove it, he could perish during our attack on Baltius, and easily. It would be removing the biggest advantage, and I'm not sure what to do. He looks at me, awaiting my response. I don't know what to say next. I think the move is to remove the curse. Because if I had the option to make someone not immortal, I would probably do it, because immortality is a fucking nightmare hellscape. If he dies, I'll just reload. LOL. I tell him I'll remove the curse. His face lights up like I've never seen before. He takes a few steps forward and plants a soft kiss on my cheek. Thank you so much. I grab the blade and try to figure out what to do. One thing was for sure, he'd soon have his life back. He would have the freedom to grow old and finally find peace. And before he leaves my room, I make sure that his dream becomes a reality. Can't believe Ulrich's gonna fucking die, proper noun. Alright, let's see what Damic's up to. Damic leads me towards the town square of Mazio. Because of our recent conversations, I know what's going on. He's taking me to the spot where he lost his mother during the occupation. It must be hard on him. Just like me. I can see him shaking as we walk through the town. But if facing this painful memory helped him move on, then it was my duty to assist him. In the coming storm, he needed to be resolute. Helping him would help all of us. I can't thank you for coming enough with me, Pants. Freudian slip. I can't thank you enough for coming with me, Pants. There's not many people I trust this much. I'm really glad I have you. Until today, I've only had dreams about doing this, but now I'm strong enough. And honestly, it's all because of you. I gave a little credit to my near-death experience, but not all of it. You've grown into a capable leader and led us down the right path. He smiles, and I smile back at him. Strategy let Ulrich die in battle so he can live afterwards in peace with Fortame. Shh. Don't worry about it. It was nice to receive. He smiles, and I smile back at him. It was nice to receive some support after all we've been through. Being the monarch wasn't very easy, but it's a weight I had to carry. We walked through the town square, taking back alleys for occasional shortcuts. After a while, we end up in at a large open area. I'm surprised they haven't built shops here. Maybe it's because everyone got murdered here. Who'd have thought? This is where the town meetings are held. They don't happen very often, but they need a big open space. Damn it, gonna let me hold his hands? If I'm feeling saucy enough, maybe. One can only hope. There's a lot of people in Mazio, so everyone deserves a chance to attend. Soon after that, however, his tone becomes more serious. A lot of bodies in one place. That's just what they needed during the occupation. This is where it happened, Pants. The stuff with my mother. You know, the murder. And the very heavy trauma. Or as I like to call it, the stuff. I nod at him as we take steps closer towards the center. You may notice a crimson tint on the ground here. This is where they piled the bodies during the attack. So much blood, so much carnage, permanently stained. Just like the memories in my head, as hard as I try, I can't scrub those off either. Every other night I wake up in a cold sweat, crying. Me too, Damek. I feel the lingering touch of her hand against mine. Then, the moment she goes away, it makes me feel empty inside. There's nothing to feel except all those corpses pressed against me. A warmth that slowly dissipates, leaving me cold and alone. I had to stay under them until things died down, almost a whole day. The moment I could, I got out, and I took our pendant along with me. We do a little bit of grave robbing around here. It's all I have to remember her by, but perhaps that's why I can't let go. How can you move on from something when you remind yourself of it every day? Just a thought, of course, but after all I've been through, at least it's a thought with merit. He holds up his hand and shows me the pendant he's holding. I've seen that a few times. He seems to carry it with him everywhere. Of course, as he suggested, that also means he carries the memory along as well. Let's keep moving. I'll show you exactly where it happened. Just stay close to me, okay? This is hard. I nod and start to follow him as we venture deeper into the open area. The podium rests at the center, likely where they'd hold these meetings from. Soon I picture what this place would look like during the occupation. I cringe. Dies of cringe. After a while, Damek stops dead in his tracks and looks down at the ground. His body language and reaction tells me that this is exactly where his trauma happened. I position myself right beside him and wait for him to speak. I couldn't rush him now. Well, this is it. He clutches the pendant close to his chest. Would you sit with me, Pants? We might be here for a while, after all. He sits down on the ground, attracting stares from a few passers-by. I join him, caring more for his well-being than the judgment of those around us. No, the Mazayans are gonna think I'm cringe. I gotta go. Looking down at the ground, he places the pendant down and moves it around slightly. It was right here, I think. You never really forget, you know. I hope it's not weird to sit here with me. I shake my head and let him do what he needs to do. Coming here to face what happened, I needed to do this, but now I'm not sure what to do next. I mean, with the pendant. Do I leave it behind, just like my memories, or do I hold on? That was a good question, I can tell it's bothering him. I'm sure someone will just come around and steal it anyway, but maybe that's for the best. It can be somebody else's burden. I think I've grown tired of carrying it around for my entire life. However, I don't want to regret doing this. I could be acting rashly in the face of our final battle. It wouldn't be the first time somebody has done that, you know? I nod and let him speak. Look at me, the world is at stake and I'm worried about this. You know what, with everything you've done for us, I trust you. What do you think I should do, Pants? Take it or leave it? This is definitely a keep it moment. Because he's not only used the pendant for remembering, like, it's caused him to remember the tragedy, but it also allowed him to find peace in the tragedy, you know? So, you don't lose the memories because you lose the pendant. You lose the pendant because you lose the pendant. So if he throws it away, he's just going to remember, but not have anything to, like, take solace in, you know? So I think it's a keep it angle. You're probably right, and I don't want to make a mistake. Perhaps just coming here after all those years was enough. You have no idea how much this means to me, Pants. He picks the pendant off the ground and clutches it in his hand. We both stand up and turn back in the direction we came from. Well then, should we get going? I nod and we start walking back the way we came. But Damek looks much happier and content than he did earlier. Perhaps the event of today can give him a clear mind in the future. As our final battle was imminent, we would find out sooner rather than later. I didn't earn his loyalty? What the fuck? Hello? Oh no, I didn't even fucking... No! I fucked up. I thought it made so much sense. Oh good, I did quick save. Let's fucking go. You're right, I think this is something I need to do. It'll be hard, but I need to move on. I can't hold myself back. We're fighting to liberate our world and push forward, right? It's a bit hypocritical for me to do this, do the opposite to myself. I hope whoever picks it up goes on to take good care of it. It means a lot to me, and I hope we can do that for others too. He places his hand on the pendant, touching it one last time. It's time for me to let go, Mother. This was always yours. I was just holding on to it for a while. I'll miss you always, but your sacrifice for me will never be forgotten. He smiles and lets go of the pendant and shimmers in the sun. We both stand up and turn back in the direction we came from. Well then, should we get going? I nod and we start walking back the way we came, blah blah blah, yeah. So it's identical, but yeah, whatever. Right, let's see what Hal's got going on. Hal enters my quarters carrying an aura of purpose with him. What the fuck's an aura of purpose? After Iskra, I know that something big has been on his mind. We were so close to the final battle, it's probably time for us to talk. Monarch, we must speak with you. It's about our upcoming attack on Baltius. At least we think it is. Things have been complicated. We may be walking into a trap. This may all be a part of the Triumvirate's plan. Plan? What plan? Take their blade, feed it power, then bring it back. This may be what they've wanted all along. We've seen it. Everything we've done has only made their weapon stronger. Please tell me what you're thinking. They let us steal their blade. They wanted it to happen. They knew we'd bring it here, feed it death, and tap into the idol. But not only that, we're bringing it right back to them, stronger than ever. You may think we are wrong, but this is just a foolish theory. But we must only look into the visions to realize the truth. That combined with some of your actions, like clockwork. What do you mean by clockwork? It's almost like sometimes you have no other choice. You say or do things that push us down a certain path, but more often than not, that path leads us to death. How convenient then that the blade feeds off of death. In your hands it's gotten more powerful than ever before. But what force, what invisible hand guides us down this path? This one, it's visible high. It's quite simple, but we are always looking at it the wrong way. Venturing into Iskra and seeing that ship made us realize that. When we approached things from a different angle, it all made sense. Perhaps you could start making sense to me then? We've been struggling with visions of these different pasts. They seem to come out of nowhere and complicate things. Until recently, we only had to process visions of the future. He crossed his arms. At least that's what we thought. I take a step forward, interested to see where he's going with this. But now we realize we've never seen the future at all. It's impossible to see what has not yet been written, but it's easy to see what has already happened, yeah. Now he has lost me. These visions of different pasts aren't as out of place as we thought. You were told you had visions of the future, and you chose to believe that fact. Excuse me. They are not visions of the future. They too are simply different pasts. What? The key to all this is the Blade of Exodus. It's a constant in every vision, yeah. The Blade of Exodus and the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship belt, yeah. But the power within it varies, even when it shouldn't. There are inconsistencies. Even if we have a vision of the same situation, the power inside the blade is different. The Triumvirate has some sort of dominion over time. That much is clear. They possess the ability to grant their subjects eternal life, like Ulrich and Sovi. We need to operate under the assumption that this ability can be used in other ways too, yeah. He eyes the blade on my back. Mainly in a way that can be used to strengthen the Blade of Exodus. They could create a cycle full of death and despair that we are unable to break. When the cycle reaches an end, they could revert time and gather that power all over again, yeah. The visions of the future you thought you were having, they aren't what you thought. We believe that they are visions of the cycles of the past, perhaps cycles where we have perished. Did your visions of the future involve your death in any way? Think about this, Monarch. Now that he mentioned it, they did. I was stabbed by Sovi in the vision that started all of this. And after touching the blade, my series of visions ended with me getting stabbed. That's odd. I tell him these stories, and he smirks. It seems I'm only confirming his outlandish theories. Those were visions of past cycles, Monarch. Cycles where we failed. When we look at it like this, these different paths make perfect sense. We've been looking at them all wrong, that is, until just recently. It seems that we retained some prior knowledge from these cycles. Perhaps that is why we act in certain ways. As if we have no other options. In the back of our mind, we're pushing ourselves in the same direction. Cycles, directions, please explain. I'm dumb. We think the Triumvirate is manipulating time. They're doing this in order to make the blade even stronger. The occupation, the formation of the rebellion, and the attack on the tunnels? All of those cause All those causalities simply serve to give the blade more power, or all those casualties simply serve to give the blade more power. Fuck, I can't read right now. This is so sad. We have no doubt that many will perish when we assault Baltius as well, but when the time comes, they can simply make it happen all over again. Yeah. This is almost too much to comprehend. It makes sense when you think about it, especially with these tunnels. Those suits of armor knew exactly how to fortify this place for your army. They must have retained their knowledge and adapted each and every time. But only one question remains unanswered. Why? Why do they want to make you use it? Why do they want to make this blade even stronger? What is their endgame? What do they desire? It is very possible they are walking into a trap, that is, unless the blade has enough power to defeat them. Their plan is, if it's as I expect, is a double-edged sword, yeah. What do you mean? An infinite cycle created specifically to power the blade. There must be a cycle, a prime cycle, where we have the power to defeat them. A point where the blade is strong enough for us to win, but not yet strong enough for them. All we can do is hope that we've reached that cycle. The power in that blade is immense, but is it enough? Hopefully you understand what we were trying to say. You're trying to tell me that we're trapped in some sort of time loop? A loop that the triumvirate fashioned in order to give the blade power? And not only that, but I never saw the future. I only saw failed past endeavors. It's hard to believe, but death has definitely followed me and my allies. If their goal is to feed the blade with power, then they have certainly succeeded. But how far back does the cycle go? Could it reach as far back as the occupation? Wait a minute. Attack Mazio, kill innocents and incite a rebellion. Attack that rebellion, provoke them into attacking your home, and then destroy them. With what Hal said, it almost does seem likely that we're walking into a trap. This can't be! The reason we see these things is because of the energy within us. It makes us sensitive in a way that others are not. We are both special, and I don't think visions are the only benefit of this power. There is more. Perhaps you see a flash of events that are happening elsewhere. Perhaps you can relive a conversation that has already happened. These echoes of past cycles manifest themselves in many ways, yeah. But when we look at it this way, everything makes sense. Everything has an explanation and nothing is left up in the air. The only question is, do you believe us? Do you think we are correct? Yeah, it makes complete sense because it's time travel, so who gives a shit? Good, we knew you would see the truth of things. This was an impossible matter to discuss with anybody else. We are special, and now we finally understand the reason why. He turns to leave, but tilts his head back to address me one more time. I guess he wanted to leave no stone unturned before our attack on Baltius. The Triumvirate is up to something, that much is clear. If it aligns with our theory, at least he would be able to act. Getting caught off guard would damage us beyond repair. That is not something we want our monarch to endure. Be prepared for anything, for the enemy will stop at nothing. If you can do this, then perhaps our victory will be more likely, yeah. But with that said, he sees himself out of my room. That all came out of nowhere, and I'm not sure how to react, but one thing was clear, there was so much we didn't know. But would we learn the truth in Baltius, or would we even make it that far? I don't know. I start to feel uneasy, even with all this new knowledge. Could we really have been fundamentally wrong about everything? Definitely not. As I go about my business, it's impossible to shake that thought out of my head. Rad. So we have all of the loyalty of the people that we give a shit about. I'm guessing I'm going to fucking die. Because I'm guessing what I'm going to have to do is go back in time and remake these decisions to be more chaotic. Or I have to be like full purity. But there's still at least two more changes, or two more choices, so I'm only at 80% total. Anyway, off to Baltius. Traveling to Baltius is the point of no return. Check this one, I call it Save. Make sure you've completed all content you desire. There will be no coming back, as Act 5 is the finale. Travel to Baltius? Yes. I make my way to the docks, happy to see that almost everybody else has done the same. Our forces line the entire area, dozens of ships are ours to command. We stand a real chance. Make my way down the docks, I notice all of our forces are talking amongst themselves. This is the unity that our world needed, the unity that we're fighting for. Though not everybody saw eye to eye, they could all coexist with one another. There would be no more oppression for those who thought differently than our rulers. That is, of course, if we won. Milos is nowhere to be seen, but somehow I'm not surprised. He came to Alarinthia and back, and for that I was grateful. It was time for him to rest and focus on what to do next. Staying true to his word, Sylvia was nowhere to be seen. It's probably for the best. Letting him help us was too risky. But part of me wonders if I'd ever see him again after this. God. As I continue down the docks, eyes start to fixate on me. Not just me, but the blade upon my back as well. They all knew who I was. At this moment, I feel the weight resting on my shoulders, but I stand strong. This was a burden that I was ready to carry. No, this was a burden I was born to carry. I smile at them as I walk by, and they do so in turn. Welcome back, Nox. You're here just in time for the finally. To give you a quick summary, we told Sophie to pound sand, so he's not with us. Fortame and I climbed the great tree, and he kissed my hand. Very lewd. Ulrich is millennia old. He was the Grand Inquisitor. He killed his own parents. And he was given the gift of immortality, but we removed it from him, so now he's weak. But he's human again, basically. Well, he's furry again. Damek, we told him to leave his pendant because apparently keeping the pendant was bad. So he left his pendant where his mom died. Very sad. No longer immortal is a good way to say it, yeah. And then Hal basically told us that Ulrich's a flop, man, fuck you. But Hal told us basically what we expected, which is we're probably in a time loop where we need to make the sword just powerful enough to beat the Triumvirate, but that they can't reach whatever goal they're trying to reach. So we'll see if we got that. As I walk, I eventually run into Damek. He's overseeing everybody's efforts, making sure it goes smoothly. There's a lot to transport. We'd all need weapons, food, and drink. Quite the army, isn't it? Salus would be proud, I know he would. Forgive me for taking charge, though. You deserve a break. Ulrich looks like a Neopet. Neopets are cool. What's the problem? Or at least a chance to save your energy. You'll need most of it in Balthius, not here. We'll take care of everything until then. I nod, thankful that Damek is taking the initiative. I definitely need to use the voyage as time to prepare. My skill with this blade is limited, but I know I can improve. It reeks where you're working. Dude, you replaced the smoker. I swear to God, it smells like he was smoking in here, but I can't find any evidence. He probably wasn't smoking in there. So source, I grew up in a smoke-heavy house. If you wear a thick enough jacket, and smoke with it on, it creates like a lingering smell around where you were. Like, you don't even have to smoke by it. Just existing with that jacket is enough. So if he wears a thick jacket and goes for smoke breaks, it's going to smell like shit. That's just how it is. Like, I have clothes from my parents' house that, if I go up to them, like, now, he left over a half hour ago and you can still smell it. Yeah, that's how it goes. It's fucking awful. I have clothes that are 20 years old that still have a smoke smell in them. They haven't been around smoke in years. So, like, it just is what it is. Nasty habit, that. I made sure to put us on the same boat as each other. Everyone actually. Hal, Valessa, Fortame, Ulrich, Pro. It's probably best if we were all together for the end of this journey. That much was true. I'd need my friends by my side for this. We were about to change the entire world. We'd be slaying gods. Part of me wonders just who they are and why they do what they've done. There's probably no point in concerning myself with that information. Nothing about them could excuse what they've done. They need to fall. I thank Damek for everything that he's done, and this makes him happy. Of course, Pants, anything to help you out. But I think we're almost ready to set sail. Want to get on board? Might as well lead by example. A lot of people are just standing around. We turn to leave, but we're quickly interrupted by a gun. It's the last person I expect to see, but I'm not surprised. Leaving without me, Damek? I thought you wanted me to come along. Hey, Grizz, we're happy to see you. We weren't leaving, just getting on board. Hopefully everybody else will take the hint and follow suit. Fair enough. Hey there, Pants. Damek told me everything when he got back from Alarinthia. It seems like we're looking at things the wrong way all along. Yeah, the smoker aura. -5 HP regen. 30-meter radius. At least I definitely was. I thought that my death in those tunnels would redeem me, but now I know that my fate lies elsewhere in Balthius. Why does he have a literal sheep's head on his shoulder? Because he killed the sheep. Also good to know that saving Grizz helps, maybe. I'm glad that his outlook has changed. I couldn't let him kill himself back in our HQ. He was just lost and needed some direction. At first I was furious that you denied me at my redemption, but when Damek came to see me, I looked at it differently. I was meant to survive those tunnels and help your final attack. He holds out his hand, awaiting my response. What do you say? To the Triumvirate's fall? Mazeo can rest with Lilith for now. Yeah, to the Triumvirate's fall. Woohoo! I shake his hand and grasp his firm. The support our cause is getting overwhelms me. I start crying and shitting myself. Thank you, Monarch. Let's put the past behind us. Honestly, I think all of us want to forget about those tunnels. I promise that from here on out, I'll maintain a clear mind. And now as we start making our way toward the boat. Our vessel is the same one we used to get to Alarinthia. It's a bit bigger than the rest and would work as a mobile HQ. When I get to the deck, I turn around and look at the docks. Everyone's saying their final goodbyes since we might not make it back. I give them all the time they need and slowly watch as they board our fleet. Actually, I might not make it back either. That thought fills me with fright. Taking one last look at Mazaean soil, I say goodbye under my breath. What happened next would change the course of Alessian history forever. I turn around to face the deck and crew. The atmosphere seems tense. Damek and Hal almost immediately group together. They're inspecting parchments. It was important as they're locked in discussion. They don't seem to be arguing with one another. As I walk towards them to see what's happening, I'm immediately interrupted by my comrades. Happy to see me aboard, there's a quick exchange of hugs and pleasantries. They seem excited to commit genocide and kill God. Perhaps they really are, or perhaps they're putting on an act to hide how frightened they are, because we're fighting God. Either way, it's best to make the most of any happy moments. This was the calm before the storm. One final storm. Hey there, Pants. Glad to see you made it here. I'm happy we're all on the same boat. Yeah, it makes me feel way better. If I was stuck with other people, I'd be worried. But in this situation, I'm not. I'm perfectly comfortable. I'm just doing my best to hang in there. This whole life at sea thing isn't my style. I can't wait to get back and settle down for good. Knock on wood, Pro. Don't get arrogant before the final battle. This is a huge gamble. You need to give it your all. Me? Arrogant? Never. Anyway, I need to take my mind off this water stuff. How about we go sit in the crew quarters and play some cards? Sure. But I think Damek's about to make a speech. He's been lost in conversation with Hal for a while now. I overheard them talking about our plan of attack in Balthius. Alright, I can wait. Maybe you should get over there, Pants. I'm pretty sure that's something you'll want to be a part of. For them, it was a culmination of a long journey to kill God. For me, it was Wednesday. It was Wednesday. Wednesday is Kill God Day. That's true, and I was making my way over there anyway. Ulrich and Pro go about their business, but Valessa and Fortane stay. Good luck, Pants. I hope we get to spend more time together, but I understand if we don't get to. This is probably the most important moment of your life, so do whatever you need. Nutty's favorite one has to be the P. That's my guess. Yeah, as much as we need you, I think the world needs you more. Hopefully this isn't goodbye, but there's always a chance that it is. Since we're going to Balthius, we need to treat that as a real option. It's true, as grim as it made the conversation feel. Before I can respond, they both step forward and hug me at the same time. I let out a soft laugh, and wrap my arms around them. Together we've all come so far. Thanks for everything, Pants. I think you have some planning to do, so I'll let you go. Yeah, just know that I'll never forget our time together. If we play our cards right, then we can have more of that after the war. I know things have been crazy, but with you two by my side, it's been easier. With the hug broken, we nod at one another with big smiles. I'm sure we'd see each other again, in hell, so Don't let it get me down. There was no way we'd get to the end of this without crossing paths again. I make my way over to Damek and Hal, scanning my surroundings as I do. Our pirate allies run about the ship, making last-minute preparations and adjustments. It's nice to know that we had their sailing expertise. So many important people were on board. Because of that, something told me that our ship would be in the very front of the pack, but I wouldn't know for sure until I talked to Damek and Hal. They turned to face me. I could tell they're stressed out. It's apparent on their faces. I asked them what's up. Hey, Pants, we were just taking care of some planning. I think we have a pretty good idea of what we're going to do. Now that we've talked it out, I think our chances are great. Damek is correct. Our confidence has increased tenfold. Thanks to some last-minute information, we now have the edge. Hopefully we can keep that when we put our plan into practice. Yeah. I glanced at the scrolls that they're holding. I noticed Grizz's signature on them, as well as a Mazayan seal. He worked for the Triumvirate too, so I'm sure his intel would be valuable. I guess I should tell everybody what we're planning then. I'll go stand at the head of the ship and give myself a platform. They might want to hear from you too, Pants, so be ready. I stand back and watch as he takes slow steps towards the head of the ship. I didn't even know what they were planning, so I'd be learning at the same time. However, due to the fact that they were working together, I knew we were in good hands. Alex watched him pass by. I can tell that he's tired of waiting around. It wouldn't be much longer before we set sail, so I hope he can wait a bit longer. Once the pirates start preparing the ship to leave, their shouts would drown everything out. After a few moments, he reaches the head of the ship and clears his throat. Gathering the attention of everybody nearby, he mounts a crate to get higher ground. A silence overtakes the entire ship, but he has no problem rising to overcome it. Well, I guess this is the eve of our final attack. I know many of you are wondering just what's going to happen. I'll explain more later, but right now, I can tell you a bit of what we're planning. There's some clompy feet they have, true. We should arrive in Baltius just as the sun is rising. When we do, we'll all be meeting at a central location for one final meeting. It's important that everybody is on the same page before we take any big steps. However, our first big step would be to secure the Grand Library. Holding the proprietor hostage, we'll station our army there as a pseudo-HQ. I bet you're wondering why we've chosen the library. Well, our reasoning is twofold. First of all, we've been told that the Honor Guard cannot set foot inside. There's some sort of ward on the property, presumably so the owner can be alone. Well, we're not sure why they prefer to work alone, but we know they're important to the Triumvirate. That is part of our second reason. Taking them hostage, we will extract information. We need anything we can gather that will help us with our next step, the final attack. While information is extracted, we can use safety of the library to rest and recuperate. After that rest, we will gather one more time and begin our final assault. Pants will lead a small team and infiltrate the castle, attacking the Triumvirate directly. The rest of us will lead the Honor Guard to the town square and fight them as a distraction. With a distraction as large as we're planning, Pants should be unimpeded. He will kill the Triumvirate, destroy the large idol at the back of the chambers. We believe this idol to be of importance to them, so we must destroy it in order to win. With the blade plunged into that idol, Pants will tap into its power. He will use it to deactivate the Honor Guard, and the suits of armor will crumble. At that point, victory is ours. We will gather in the castle atrium and count the survivors. Eric looks at me as Damek explains this part of the plan. It's my first time hearing it, but all of it makes perfect sense. It's a good strategy. We don't know what the idol is, but I could definitely use its power, like I did in our HQ. With the Triumvirate dead and their Honor Guard dissolved, victory is ours. We'd still have to worry about Hallen and Shane, but I'm sure they'd pop up somewhere. I feel confident. Giving everybody a nod, they turn their attention back to Damek's platform. As soon as we arrive, I'll share this plan with everybody else. So until then, I advise getting some rest. You're going to need it. That is, unless there's anything you want to say to all of us, Pants. Nope. No. Don't die. All eyes are on me once again, and I take a few steps forward. Damek jumps off the crate, leaving me a platform to stand on. A speech? I've never given one of those in my life. I don't know. My uncertainty must come across in my demeanor as they start urging me on. They even break away from each other, leaving a clear path for me to walk forward. I am technically their leader. It makes sense for me to talk. I'd have to get used to this. Bro, this dude fucking flip-flops between, I'm the leader, give me fucking, honor me, fools. And, I'm not, I guess I'm technically the leader. Every fucking 30 seconds, which is relatable. Let me put it that way. I continue to walk forward and notice smiles appear on their faces. The impact that my actions and attitude have on everybody here is very clear. It's a good thing that this level of responsibility is given to someone who can handle it. A few moments later, I'm on top of the crate, matching the deep gaze of all my subjects. Silence overtakes everything. I can hear the calm of the water against the docks of Museo. It was clear that I'd have to break the silence and clear my throat and think of what I should say. Speech is a culmination of all your choices thus far. Tight. My family, it is our time to be heard, and it is time for our enemy to realize that they are wrong. Never again will our homes be seized. They start to mutter amongst themselves, nodding in agreement with everything I say. Yeah, he's cooking. Let him fucking cook. Hell yeah, brother. The journey could have easily compromised us and forced us to do unspeakable things. But we can rest easy knowing that we've clung to our values and traditions. We are better than them. And that is exactly why we will win. A bunch of them start cheering with wide grins on their faces. I'm speaking from the heart, speaking from instinct, and it's working. I smile now too, and my words from this moment on are filled with confidence. We will be behind a world of freedom. We will embrace everybody who has been wrongfully oppressed. Put simply, we will give hope to those who have found their own was stolen. I'm really good at giving speeches, okay? Due to the Triumvirate's rule, that number is far too high, but this ends now. It's Jover. Biden Blasto. No longer will victims find themselves blinded by revenge. No longer will servants find themselves lost to a quest for redemption. The crowd is roaring with applause, cheering on my every word. I know that they want more, so I try and think of what I should say next. We have more power than any group of people who have ever spoken up against the Triumvirate. Unbreakable like our will, we have vessels containing spirits of the monarchy. We will no longer fight for ourselves, we fight for a lost civilization. That is why we're unstoppable. I grab the blade from my back and slowly unsheath it. But most importantly, we have this. A gun! Holding the blade out, they explode with even more applause. I held a symbol that almost guaranteed our victory and our freedom. Nobody has ever had or ever will have a better chance of taking them down. Using this blade, I'll create a world just like Salus had always envisioned. When this is all over, we will live in a united world. We will stand together, strong. Except Valinor. Valinor is going to kind of be their own thing. Everybody will have a voice, and together we will find harmony. We will find peace. I put the blade back in the scabbard, signaling that I'm almost done speaking. Raising my fist in the air, I give out one last shout. Ah! One last call to unify our cause. For the rebellion! Woo! With a wide smile and met with a large round of applause, I jump off the crate. Taking it as a sign that we're ready to depart, the pirates start preparing to sail. I should probably meet with Damek and Hal one last time before deciding what to do. As I approach them, I notice they look happier than I've ever seen. I never saw myself as a public speaker, so I'm quite surprised at what happened. I was cooking. Doubts of my efficacy were still there, but seeing my comrades smile helped that worry dissipate. Eloquently put, Pants. Better than my own speeches, I have to admit. I could see just how much everybody looked up to you. It was quite impressive, we must say. I haven't cut a promo that mean since Gene Okerlund was still in business. You're going to make a fine leader, we're sure of it. The greatest asset of any ruler is the ability to inspire hope. And I'd say that we have that in droves now. I trust that you're okay with our plan, Pants. Sorry that we didn't have time to pass it by you first. I nod. It all seems good. Looks good to me. Approve button. Good. It seems that everything is now in order. Perhaps you should go get some rest, Pants. We will wake you up if there's any matter of importance. Yeah, we need you rested when we reach Baltius. You know our plan and the pirates are about to set sail. There's nothing left for you to do, at least for now. I guess he was right. Until we arrived, things were out of my hands. After thanking them for the opportunity, I make my way to the crew quarters. I valued the opportunity to rest, but given the circumstances, that rest won't come easy. What the fuck? Where am I? Oh, I don't give a shit about these fucking losers. Hallen and Shane gathered at the docks of Baltius. Surrounded by honor guard, they ordered them to prepare a small fleet. They knew the end was coming and they had to meet it head on. What was your reasoning behind this again? I'm surprised the Triumvirate decided to play along with your plan. They have come by sea, and this is the main point of entry. If we leave from here, we can intercept them before they arrive. The plan is to thin out their numbers as early as possible. What if this fails and they sink our fleet? Scared of dying, are you? No, that's not what I meant. There's a valid concern, Shane. Well, in my case, I don't really have anything left to lose. Let me lead this charge myself, Hallen. You can go back to the castle. You'll be needed there for a second line of defense if they make it that far. I trust that they won't. Me too. Just tell the Triumvirate I'll be there soon. I have no intention of dying, not to any of those weaklings. Shane instructs the honor guard to get on board the ships. It's a small fleet of only a few ships. Hallen watches and scoffs. You have a death wish, you know that? I get that you hate them, but don't throw your life away. The Triumvirate rewards service. Keep that in mind, alright? Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. I'll be back before you know it, so go and have a rest. Just wait, Hallen. If they even arrive, you'll find that their hope is lost. Hallen smiles, a sinister smirk. He knows exactly what Shane is implying. Very well, I can get behind that thought. Be careful, though. You're a good apprentice, Shane. I trust that you and the honor guard will do some real damage. Yeah, that's the idea. I'll see you back at the castle? Sure. Hallen starts to walk away, but quickly turns around. You know, Soviet never let me do stuff like this. As his apprentice, he shut down almost every plan I had. I have to be better than him, though. I'm trusting you with a lot here. Don't worry, I promise not to let you down. If the rebellion ends today, you have my word, Master. Hallen nods and starts making his way back to the castle. Shane remains muttering to himself with trembling fists. And it all starts with that little figurehead of theirs. It's almost time, Seer. You'll be joining Damek soon enough. Peppy Rubble, he doesn't know. Shane lacks critical information. I'm so fucking mad. I toss and turn, getting minimal amounts of sleep. The blade rests against my bed, ready to grab at a moment's notice. I fade in and out of sleep, fighting a mixture of both anxiety and tranquility. Boy, if that ain't me every Sunday night into Monday morning. Just when I'm about to fall asleep, a negative thought jolts me back awake. Fuck, I forgot to turn off the stove. We had no idea what would happen when we arrived in Baltius. It was terrifying. I realize that sleeping probably isn't going to happen right now, so I get out of the hard bed. Just as I do, I notice somebody approaching out of the corner of my eye. Grabbing the blade, I prepare myself for anything out of a twisted paranoia. Hey now, put that thing away. I didn't mean to startle you, pants. It's just Vivian. That's a relief. He hasn't been here the whole time, but now he is. It appears to have been some complications. Damek wanted me to tell you that you're needed on deck. You'll see what I mean when you get up there, alright? I nod. It must be important if he's interrupting my rest. Oh, here comes the part where Vivian fucking backstabs me and I get killed by Shane. Is still mind blown that there's a Shane in this game, like Ulrich and Shane, like Vivian, Dude, Shane, Valessa, etc. I just wanted to tell you that I know what happened in Alarinthia. I know the Pro and Ulrich teamed up in order to throw a fight. I gulp, unsure of how Vivian would react to such news. But much to my surprise, he lets out a hearty laugh. You know, I said that Alarinthia needed to be ruled by the rule of smarts. Dracu would just sit on his throne and think that strength would have solved everything. Using a scheme like that, they did it out of smart. It's almost poetic, isn't it? Besides, I'll send a message to every Alarinthia. Their old way of doing things was wrong. Individual strength doesn't matter. How strong we are when we team up under shared ideas that truly matters. And for sending them that message, I commend you. Good luck out there on deck. I think you'll need it. He released his grip on my shoulder. For a moment, I was scared things would go south. I'm glad that he's so accepting of what transpired. Dropping the issue from my mind, I head up to the deck. I had no idea why Damek needed me, but that thought was frightening. Slowly ascending the steps, my mind is plagued with unfortunate possibilities. I'm dying. As soon as I arrive on deck, I see exactly why I was needed. Off in the distance, we were met by a fleet of ships belonging to the Triumvirate. They're far, but not far enough away that the sheen of the honor guard is concealed. Okay, good. I'm not just dead. Damek and Hal immediately run over. I can see the panic on their faces. It's clear that battle would be imminent. I would meet them halfway and see what their plan is. We have no plan. Perhaps this is time for Damek to shine? A master strategist, is that not what your people say? Hal, this is no time to be petty. We need to put our heads together and figure this out. Thought there was gonna be an Amogus minigame. Yeah, where I wish there was like some kind of minigame where like I had to like fucking strategy RPG like in the Le Grand Legacy or something. Let's see. Fuck. Let's see, it's a small fleet, maybe only half the size of ours. Naval warfare is not something the monarchy practiced. We lived in peace, Damek. Our world was not discordant like this one. War meetings were so boring. Yeah, I know, that's why I want to do it again. We exchanged glances. Damek seems uncertain and a little worried. He strikes a pose of thought, and it's been a while before he breaks silence. Okay, I'll do it. We know this battle is lost if Panis doesn't make it ashore, so our goal should be to secure the safety of this boat, and the lives of those on board. This is when we need to rely on everyone's strength, so we need the pirates to take action. He waves over Alex. Alex, we need you to order your forces to charge. This is precisely why I wanted to form a treaty. For a battle at sea, I need you to occupy the forces, distract them while we slip by. Slip by? They'll notice you right away. Baltian ships are equipped with projectile weaponry. 1 or 2 good shots and you'll be underwater in minutes. That's what I'm counting on. Huh? We're gonna let them sink this ship. Are you crazy? I have a plan, Alex. Everybody listen up. We'll time it so we're close by when they hit us. As we think we can hop over to their ship and hijack it. Using their own projectile weapons, we'll start sinking them one by one. Their attention will be divided. They'll be getting attacked from multiple sides. We can use that to our advantage. They won't be able to retaliate through the chaos. Right, of course. Should I send the order right away? Yeah, we needed to do this immediately. There's no room for error. This is the end. We are dead. Goodbye. Yes, sir. You're eating all the food so I can't have any? That's valid. I don't need it anyway. I'll eat 2 slices of bread or something. Alex runs off and climbs the netting of the ship. I look over at the other ships and the pirates start doing the same. It's almost like they have an entire language to communicate over long distances. It's almost like this is what they do for a living. That was an impressive sight to see. However, seeing Damek think on his feet was equally impressive. With a sigh and a smile, confidence overtakes the panic from moments before. Damek, we must say that was pretty impressive. Hopefully now you realize that visions only hold you back. Huh? Huh? Look at what happened back in the Rebel HQ. You relied on a vision. You tried to fulfill some prophecy. In a way that is limiting. You're playing your strategy around certainties. But there are no certainties in war, yeah. Assume that the enemy is a counter for your every action. In this case, we should also plan for a scenario where the enemy prevails. Damek shakes his head. They won't, simply because we can't afford it. Any losses at this point would mean that the end of our cause. Trust in the pirates, Hal. Trust in all of us. We can do this. Hal simply nods. Moments later, the pirates launch their assault. We all lose our balance as our ship takes a sharp turn, moving in a new direction. This was a risky plan, but like Damek requested, I chose to place my trust in him. If trust couldn't carry us to victory, then it would be our strength and resolve. I hold on to the side of the ship as our speed increases. Everybody braces themselves. They're not sure what's going on, so Damek draws the sword and raises it into the air. Everybody listen up. This final hour is upon us. Our pirate army will be charging against the enemy fleet. While they're distracted, we'll slip in and hijack one of their ships. This means we'll be sacrificing this vessel, so don't be alarmed if they deal us a fatal blow. As we're sinking, we'll jump over and board the enemy. Their ships are equipped with projectile weaponry. Using their own ship, we will turn their weapons against them. They won't know where to focus, and we'll use the chaos to our advantage. It starts to talk a bit louder as our ship picks up speed. We move away from the main fleet, preparing to approach from the flank. Where did I put the meat thermometer? Good question, I didn't grab it. I didn't do anything with it. Because I said, do you want me to grab that? And you said, no, it's fine. And then I didn't. We move away from the main fleet, preparing to approach from the flank. I notice the soldiers nod, accepting Damek's orders and plan without hesitation. If things go south, I need all of you to protect Panis. Without him, we will lose not only this battle, but the war as well. His life and the blade that he carries should be our top priority. Do I make myself clear? Everybody cheers in approval and raises their sword like Damek. Then we all stand and watch the bulk of our fleet as the battle begins. We slowly move away from the action, and I can tell that some are relieved. As soon as the pirates get close enough, the honor guard retaliates. They launch heavy projectiles from catapults and shoot harpoons from wooden structures. The pirates, with their sailing expertise, are mostly able to counter by altering their trajectory. However, not all of them can do so. I witnessed several ships get torn apart and start to sink. My heart sinks with them, knowing that they are willing to sacrifice themselves for me. It seems that the battle is on in full force. They get closer and start to board each other. I can hear swords clashing as Honor Guard tries to defend against the pirates' charge. Ships on both sides start to sink, and soon enough it's almost impossible to see what's happening. From this distance it's too chaotic, but if enemy ships are sinking, then we must have seized some weapons. That means that the tables have started to turn, but it's up to us to play our part as well. I turn back and look at where we're headed. We're dangerously close to some enemy ships. Dammit calls out to everybody, shifting their attention away from the distant battle. This is it. There's no turning back. Everybody brace yourselves to charge. I can see the honor guard prepare their weapons. When I scan my surroundings, I can see our forces prepare as well. A line of archers form, ready to attack the enemies at a moment's notice. Hold! He places a fist in the air, and intense silence follows. Both sides are armed. The question is, who attacks first? I take a deep breath and pull out the blade of Exodus. Hold! I look over at the ships we've left behind. The numbers are easily halved. But this goes for the enemy as well. This was clearly the turning point. What happened next would decide the fate of our entire cause, and it began with a barrage of projectile weaponry. The enemy attacked our ship with everything they had. I could feel the hull get torn apart and everything start shaking. Fire! The archers return fire, knocking out the suits of armor manning the weapons. I look back at the wheel of the ship and Alex spins it, turning us towards the enemy vessels. I hope you're ready to jump! Dammit nods, and then a moment later, everything erupts into chaos. Our forces jump to the enemy ship after a long running start. They land safely and start decimating the honor guard. See you on the other side, Pants. With a smirk, he follows our soldiers, jumping across the enemy ship. Landing with a roll, he immediately starts fighting, displaying impressive skill. I didn't get to see him fight in our HQ or in Alarinthia. It's quite the sight. He dodges the enemy attacks with ease and retaliates with expertise. Taking out multiple suits of armor with a single swing, he clearly holds his own. I turn around and order the remaining soldiers to charge. I save myself for last. But before I jump, I notice that Alex is still at the wheel. I shout his name and tell him to get across as soon as possible. The ship has already started to sink, and water rises at my feet. You know, any good captain's supposed to go down with their ship, but I guess there's no point living my life by an outdated code of honor. Thanks to the treaty, there'll be a new life waiting for me after all of this. He leaves the wheel behind and places a hand on my shoulder. And honestly, it's all thanks to you. Let's make this jump together, Pants. We're a team until the end, no matter what. No matter what, he's gonna push me and fucking go down with the ship. We move to the opposite side of the ship, putting distance between us and the enemy vessel. I notice that most of the honor guard has fallen, and our soldiers are manning the weaponry. This is a good sign. With a feeling that victory is ours, Alice and I start to sprint towards the enemy. He makes it there first, jumping up on the railing of our ship and launching himself across the gap. I'm not too far behind. I jump up on the railing moments after. However, I make it no further. An arrow pierces through my shoulder, and I fall back to our ship in a pool of freezing water. I pull out the arrow with a grunt. Blood oozes from the wound, but it's nothing major. We could patch up as soon as the enemy ships were taken care of. I rise to my feet. Looking up, I immediately noticed the source of the arrow. It wasn't the honor guard. It was Shane. Fucking Shane. With an evil smirk, he jumps across, boarding our ship. It's still sinking, but I have time. If I can take care of him fast enough, then I'd be able to carry out my plan as originally intended. No, it's fine, Nox. Whatever gets the job done is all that matters. Instead of coming for me, he runs towards the wheel, steering our ship away from the chaos. This wasn't good. My time was limited if we were both sinking and making the distance greater. He must know exactly what he's doing. Part of me wonders if we played into some sort of trap. I look at my allies and they seem to be doing a good enough job as they enact our plan. My fist shakes as I grip the blade of Exodus. Shane scoffs as he watches. I shout at him in anger and despair. I call him a traitor and condemn him. He almost killed Dammit and caused irreparable damage to my family. A traitor? Not from where I'm standing. Dammit abandoned me, and it's all because of you. He's a selfish fool. All he cares about is that stupid sword. I keep walking towards him and the ship shakes violently. Water keeps spilling on the deck and I'm standing almost ankle deep. I had a plan. We had a plan, and he threw it all away. The moment you walked through that door, he let you replace me. He left me to rot in the Triumvir's prison because you were more convenient. That's not true. I try to reason with Shane, but to no avail. Why would I reason with him? He just shot me. You saw how many people died in your HQ during that little attack. If you couldn't wield that sword, you'd be buried down there with the rest of them. Dammit didn't care about you or your friends. He only cared about your power. Again, that's not true. He's clearly been converted by the Triumvirate. I was thinking long and hard about what I should do. You know, what was my place in all of this? Much to my surprise, he throws both of his daggers on the ground. And I realized that if I served the Triumvirate, I'd receive the same power, the same fitting, and Dammit rebelling with the same thing he was relying on. He smirks, and I can tell that the man Dammit cared about was already dead. I wish you could be here to see this, but you'll tell him the story, won't you? A moment later, he charges at me unarmed. Almost in the blink of an eye, the blade appears in his hand. Robbed from mine, I have no choice but to jump out of the way. Why can everyone fucking yoink my goddamn sword, but I can't yoink it back? I run to the opposite side of the ship where he threw his pair of daggers. Picking them up, I assume a fighting stance and wait for him to charge again. Not strong enough to take it back by willpower alone? Thought so. You're weak. See, I was blessed by that triumvirate. All you got was worthless energy from the realm of spirits, out of pity, too. He doesn't seem to know about the monarchy, or the true nature of the power within me. Big surprise, the triumvirate lost Sophie when he found out. I should use this to my advantage. As he charges, I maintain the facade that I'm weak and unable to summon back the blade. I dodge to the side once more, but slice into Shane's arm with one of his own daggers. He winces and grunts. His arm starts to bleed, but it doesn't seem to affect his performance. He charges again, and I dodge to the other side. With a roll, I slice into his leg. He stumbles. I have speed and agility while he relies on slow, brute strength. It's easy to tell that he's never fought with such a weapon before. From what I've seen, he can really only use arrows and daggers. Is that all you got? I won't be able to keep up the same strategy forever. I need to change it up while I think of how to end this. He charges once more, but this time I meet him head on. Holding out the daggers in a cross formation, I stop the blade from going any further. We struggle, but at almost equal strength, trembling as we try to overpower the other. I tell Shane that Dammit is still alive. The spirits willed it because his cause was righteous. Impossible! He'd never comply if I told him to look for himself, so there's no way I can prove it. However, he seems to let up a little bit, and I'm able to overpower him some more. I push him away and tell him that it's all true. He is on the wrong side of this war. No, you're the one on the wrong side. The rebellion is small and insignificant. Hundreds standing in a world of millions. Even if you win, they won't respect your power. They're happy living under the Triumvirate's rule. Revenge won't solve anything. Just back down. We circle around each other, both holding out our weapons. I was hurt by the occupation and I wanted to fight, but I realized I was being greedy, and there was no point. It's not my happiness, my satisfaction that matters, it's the world's. It seems we've reached a stalemate, both trying to talk each other down. But I wouldn't yield, and something told me that he wouldn't either. BRB, yeah. This is a lot of talking. We're not even at the shore yet, brother. Fuck. His views have been twisted, and he thinks that mine have as well. You're gonna miss the ending? It's alright, just catch the VOD. I'm sure you won't miss much. It might not even be the ending tonight. I don't know. We'll see how I hold out. We charge at each other and meet in the middle once more. The water rises. I can tell that time is minimal. We're sinking fast. Returning to the same deadlock as before, I need to do something. I need to summon the blade back when he least expected it. My time is limited and honestly seems like Shane is beyond saving. But the question is, what do I do when it's back in my grasp? I'm gonna incapacitate him because he's immortal too. So I can't really kill him. He didn't deserve to die, that much was clear. There had to be a chance that he'd see reason in the future. If I went on to win this war, maybe he'd see things differently. You took everything from me. As his anger and rage empowers him, I start to tremble even more. It takes a lot to resist the strength of a man wielding the blade of Exodus. I do my best to buy time until I find the right opportunity. I can test Shane's words. You were born with everything I worked so hard to achieve. They were my family, my friends, and you took them all away. As he starts to get more desperate and angry, I decide to take action. I let him overpower me and I step to the side, dodging his nice swing. I hate you! But immediately after, and much to his surprise, I phase the blade back into my hands. While he's caught off guard, I raise the blade in the air and smash the base against his head. He screams and stumbles back, knocked into a daze. I step forward and do the same thing again. Damn, literally just fucking bonk, bonk, bonk. I'm careful not to go too far, and I stop the moment I find enough time to make my escape. He slumps down on the ground, almost knocked unconscious. I can hear him cry and whimper. There was no way to know if he'd make it out of this alive, but at least he had a chance. Dammit. This was enough of a distraction. I had to get moving. Looking back at Shane, it's crushing how far he seems to have fallen. When I saw Dammit again, it might be wise to not even tell him what happened. I jump in the water, immediately start swimming towards the ship my comrades are on. But soon after jumping in, the freezing water makes my limbs feel stiff and my chest heavy. Fighting it for as long as I can, I keep swimming. I know I can do this. This is no time to give up. And then I fucking die. The end. This is so sad. When my vision fades back in, I can feel that I'm being dragged. What happened? My body is covered in snow and I'm shivering. I must have passed out back in the water. I shake my head and whoever is carrying me seems to notice. They put me down and sigh. You're awake, thank goodness. When I found you in the water, I was starting to worry. What happened back there anyway? You were so far behind us. I shake my head, telling him that I can't remember much. Unnecessary lie. If he knew that what Shane tried to do and how lost he was, it would damage his morale. Yeah, you know, he couldn't tell from the giant gaping hole in my shoulder. He needed to see my survival as a triumph. We couldn't afford any damaged morale. Oh, I see. Can you stand on your own? We're resting in a shack that's not too far away. There's nothing fancy, but it'll give us the privacy we need. Nodding, I get up to my feet. I stumble a bit, but damn it, can tell I'm still fine. Just follow me, alright? I'll give you an update once we arrive. A lot of stuff happened while you were out. Normally a statement like that, under these circumstances, would fill me with fear. But Damek says it with such a calm demeanor that I'm led to believe everybody is fine. Holding that optimism in my head, I smile as we make our way towards the shack he mentioned. As soon as we arrive, I make my way to the shack and lean against it. We barely even arrived in Baltius and everything was already chaotic. I don't know what I was expecting, so it's not exactly a surprise either. All of my comrades were scattered about, talking amongst themselves. I'm glad that they survived. I try to account for them one by one as I look around. After a few moments, something strikes me. I can't see either Fordheim or Valessa. Hal approached me and lets out a sigh of relief. I can imagine that my momentary disappearance stressed everybody out. Good to see you, Monarch. We were worried. It seems that almost everybody is accounted for. I ask him where Valessa and Fordheim are. His demeanor quickly changes to that of sadness. They are some of the few we have yet to find. But we are certain that they live. We haven't found their bodies. Many of them washed ashore, casualties of the battle at sea. We are relieved to know that you are not one of those casualties. The plan is to wait in and around the shack until everybody shows up. This might be a good time for you to get some more rest. Please relax. Relax while my best friends are missing? That was a tall order. I tell Hal that I might not be able to. Please not resort to worst-case scenario thinking. This is a time to be hopeful. We stand on the precipice of a victory. We will go and look for them personally. You deserve some rest. I nod and thank him as I turn away. Scanning the area once more, I see what I can find. A few of the comrades I can find slowly gather around me. Hey, good to see that you're still among the living. That was pretty intense, wasn't it? Sure scared me at least. I'm not one for sailing or fighting, so combining both? Yikes. Yeah, Pro's scared. Thankfully I have the strength for two. He cowered in the corner while I did all the hard work. Did not. Sure. They share a quick laugh. But soon after that I can tell something is wrong. Is there something I'm not being told about all this? It's about Aloy's pants. He's resting in the shack in critical condition. I think we can nurse him back to health, but I'm not sure. Oh no. Look, it's probably best to not think about it too much. He's in good hands. We just need to forge on as a team. If it weren't for him, we'd all be dead at sea. This is a victory. I guess that's true. It was just important that we gave you a status report. I think once everybody gets here, we'll hold another meeting. Our strategy may need some adapting after these losses. Yeah, go take a breather. You deserve it. Right now, our options are pretty limited. It's not ideal, but he's right. All we can do right now is wait. Thanks for the chat, Pants. Guess there wasn't much left for me to do. I mean, we went to this shack, hopefully to relax. If I was chasing an impossibility, I'd find no rest here, not until everything was over. And that would mean we'd either win or die. I enter the shack and I pray that's the former. As soon as I'm inside, I let out a huge sigh. The emotions behind it are almost undiscernible. There was so much going on, my mind was overwhelmed. I guess I should take care of the important stuff first. The pirate force suffered heavy casualties and Alex was almost lost. I can see him resting on a small bed that sits in the corner of the shack. He notices me and waves me over. It's a soft motion, I can tell he's in pain. Hey, how are you holding up? I tell him that I'm doing alright. At least that makes one of us. I almost died, but one of my men shielded me. That's the weight of power, I guess, watching them die. He winces in pain. I see a wound on his abdomen. It never gets any easier, though. Hey, can you promise me one thing? I nod and he waves me over even closer, his weight weakens. He holds out his hand and I shake it with a firm grip. Give them hell for me, Pants. If I die, I want to die knowing that we've won. Show them no quarter. They don't deserve it. I nod and then release the grip on his hand. He dozes off into slumber and I decide to leave him be. Rest would be important right now. He shouldn't force anything. After standing up, I look down at him. If it weren't for him, we wouldn't even be here right now. I smile and silently thank him for all he's done. The door to the shack swings open, startling me. I turn around and see Grizz look around, oblivious to my presence. After a few moments, he notices me and lets out a nervous laugh. Haha, I never thought I'd see this place again. This is where I used to live before I joined the Triumvirate. A simple shepherd, that's all I was. They said they saw greatness in me. But now I know that what they saw was a naive man ready to serve. They prey on the weak, but on those whose minds can be warped. I'm a different man now, but perhaps my change came too late. He steps forward and places his hands on the table. I don't know if this is important or not, but Baltius has changed. It used to be a beautiful place, but now it's almost like it's dying. I can't put my finger on it, but something bad's happening here. What the fuck? Hello? Why am I getting ganked by my own fucking pen or my markers? Can't get over Grizz's thinking face. Yeah, the cross eyes fucking kill me. So be careful, alright? We can't lose you, Pants. But if it's within your power, let's see Baltius restored. Placing your throne here and settling down would be a good idea. I agree, even though I'm not entirely sure what he's talking about. Baltius has changed? It's dying? I'm not sure how that works. You're expecting betrayal in game, but all along is your markers you had to look out for? Yeah. It's probably because I shake my feet too much. I don't know if it's obvious on camera or whatnot, but my whole desk is constantly shaking. But he's not one to lie, so I just let him continue talking. They made me kill my flock of sheep before joining them. They said it symbolized the death of my old life and the start of my new one. I felt awful, but I still chose to comply. I wasn't the smartest when I was younger. That's why I wear the skin of my favorite sheep. I call him Lassiter. I wore him as a tribute, but he slowly turned into a symbol of my resentment. Seeing him every day, that constant reminder was part of why I defected. I couldn't live with what I did, so I sought redemption. Of course, you know the rest, so I won't bore you. Thank you for listening to an old man's ramblings. I gave him my sympathy. That was an awful thing to experience. They use their status as gods to manipulate young and impressionable people. I can imagine that abandoning your moral code is easier if it's to impress gods like them. I'm glad that he survived those tunnels and chose to assist us in the final battle. I make sure to tell him that, and he gives me a wide smile in exchange. That means a lot. It really does. I want to see the Triumvirate fall, even if it means losing my life. Giving everybody out there a happy future? Now that would let me rest easy. Of course, my survival will be preferable. I promise not to do anything too reckless. You have my word. That's all I can really give you right now. I hope that's enough. He starts walking around the shack, inspecting things. Must be a lot of memories here if this is where he used to live. It's probably best to leave him to himself, given the current circumstances. There isn't much left to do but rest, I suppose. I move to the corner and press my back against the wall once more. Hopefully they're all able to find Valessa and Fortame. I can't lose them now. I'll rest in here for a while and gather my bearings. This is not a time to be freaking out. Continue the story by clicking when you're right in the upper right corner. Great. This sucks. I thought that the final arc would be a lot faster. So I'm kind of torn on if I keep going or break and wait for Friday. But I don't know how much is left. At least one major choice and something. Honestly, yeah, I think that's the right call. Because my fucking voice is kind of feeling it right now. I also want to eat before like 10:30. Like, my options are stay up late to finish it, maybe finish it at like 11, or stop now and eat and go to sleep at a reasonable time so I can actually work tomorrow. And like Natalie and Bruglia. Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, I guess I'll call it there. I'm sure there's at least like another hour or so of bullshit, and if there's not, well, I'll probably have some. I'll play in something else. I mean, to be fair, I usually end stream at 9:30, right? So tough. But I'll have a backup plan for Friday if we end super quick or something. But yeah, not gonna raid tonight. Well, let me see who's live. Probably not gonna raid tonight. Looked up a playthrough. What's the hap? About 3 hours left? Yeah, fuck this then. I'm out. Yeah, there'll be one more stream. So they also do all the romance options. I mean, the romance options don't matter at this point, right? Because I've already done all the loyalty scenes and stuff. Whatever. Either I'll finish it and do something else, or I'll finish it and try to get the true ending if I don't get it. Who knows? But yeah, no raid tonight. So yeah, take it easy, everyone. Thanks for all the generosity earlier with all the bits and gifted subs. I really appreciate it, and I hope that anyone who got a sub is enjoying it, enjoying the emotes, or you looked at my channel and went, "Fuck this guy, I hate him." Anyway, feel free to join the Discord if you want to use those great emotes elsewhere in Discord. But yeah, thanks everyone for stopping by. I will see you again on Friday. Bye now.